to test our kings. We want our kings to be walking with us. Yeah, we want them to be healthy. We want them to be well. So Errol is doing absolutely fantastic work in our community. And that's what I say, you know, we've all got things that we're interested in. So you've got like the groups that are interested in education, in health, in housing, but it's one big collective. Yeah. And it's all about getting our community to the right place. So Errol, my darling, where are you? Do you want to quickly come on the platform and talk about the wonderful walk that took place a couple of weeks ago? I think it was in North London, and the one in South London. You're coming south. You're coming south.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning, John. You look like you're just coming in from a rave, girl.
Oh, Lord, if only.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and thank you.
You're
right,
very welcome.
The late raver Joan, right? Because she definitely looked like she's either going or she's just coming.
Back in the day, I would have been just probably coming in.
Hey, there's rumors that Rudy's still out there raving as we speak. So good morning to you, sir, as well, and good morning to all of you wonderful listeners. I just want to take up a few minutes of your time, guys. First of all, to thank you for the support that you've given us so far in helping to raise the awareness of prostate.
If your camera's not on, Errol, we need to see you, my darling.
Hold on, where are we now? You know you have to talk me through this all the time, Joan. Right, right. Where am I clicking for that now?
Right. So at the bottom, are you on your phone or?
No, I'm on this computer.
Oh, right. So at the bottom, you'll see mute and you'll see stop video or start video. If you click, you've got a line going across it. If you click on that, you should come on camera.
Yeah. Look. I think that's working. I think we've got there. Something's happening.
Amazing. Wonderful. Yes, we need to see you, King. Yes, you're coming. Okay.
I just wanted to tell all the listeners, right, if you need a 24-hour emergency and you don't get Rudy, you'll always get Joan.
Oh, it's not coming on. Your camera's not coming on. I wonder why that hits the blank screen.
I know. What's happening there?
Oh, you're there. Yes, we've got to see the man himself, sir. You are actually Sir Errol McKellar.
Hey, listen,
we have to, lift you up.
Now, we're all sirs and we're all queens, definitely. I wouldn't have got this honor without all of you. This honor is as much you guys as it is mine. You know that. Yeah. It's
soldiers like yourself. We need people in the community to, if that's your interest, to galvanize and get people on board. So you're doing amazing work, absolutely fantastic.
Well, the work continues. You know what, we've and as I say, I'm going to say it again, thank you for your fantastic support, yourself and Rudy and the team. We did a walk in Brent last month. Over 165 people turned up. 35 of those were carrying the issues of prostate cancer. And it was due to the sales and the support and the walk. Tomorrow we're doing this one in Brockwell Park, Southeast London, right? People are going to come in at the Redgar area, which is the Brockwell LIBIDO entrance. We want people to get there for 10 o'clock. And the reason why we want you to get there early, because the rumor is that Rudy is going to be walking 5K in his heels. Yeah. I know Rudy's gone silent, right? But he's borrowing Jones' high heels to do the 5K walk. So we're urging you to come, right, to get your pictures in, because they're going to be worth a lot of money, those pictures. I know you're cracking up there, but it's true, right? John has already pinched me and said that he took the highest heeled pair of shoes, right, to do this walk. So, but no, seriously, guys, you know what? It's a massive ask. We want you to get up and come out tomorrow morning. Luckily, Joan will be probably helping to lead the walk, right? Because she's a proper walker, unlike Rudy, right? Rudy's coming to look good. So, let's clear up these pointers here and now so that we all understand what's going on. But the seriousness of it is, look, we have to keep getting this message out there. We're going to get a mobile testing vehicle, and we're not going to do that on our own. It's all of us that's got to do that. Joan will tell you as I come off from here, I'm going to be speaking to the hierarchies who are going to be present tomorrow. And we want them to see that the community cares about what this issue is, cares about what they want to do to support it, and care about making a difference. And you know what? As I said, we can't do it without you guys. So we are urging you to come down to Brockwell Park tomorrow. If you haven't already gone on the QR to register, just come down and register tomorrow, please.
Wonderful. Well, like you said, I will be there, Rudy will be there, and of course we're supporting you 100%, and it's not, we can all sit back and talk and, be unhappy about certain things in our community, but it's about getting up and doing something about it. Yeah. And we are doers.
Yes, we are doers.
We are doers.
And the walk and talk is about talking and doing, because it's all of our ideas that have, look, this walk and talk that we're doing now, right? We've sat down at length with Joan, we sat down with Rudy, and you two have been instrumental in helping to make this happen, and we thank you guys for that, and the team of people, because as I said, you know what, it's going to be a fantastic day, right? And we also want to make sure that if you've got something that you need to plug, come and do it. That's what we're about as a community. We're supposed to be plugging the events what everybody's doing. So I know June will be walking and talking and plugging the next event that's coming up right at the mansions. And if you guys can keep up, right, if you can keep up with Rudy in the hills, then please, right, get him to do some plugging as well. Right, I urge you to come early, because trust me, I don't know if there's enough camera lens, right, to picture him in high heels.
But I can't wait to see this.
I don't think Rudy can wait either. That's the first time he's ever gone silent on me, you know that. No. No, but you know what? Listen, big respect, and as I said, it's a situation that we now have to address. I lost 47,000 men have been diagnosed with this problem, right? 11,000 are dying of this problem, right? 1 in 12 Asian men, one in 8 European men, 1 in 4 Afro-Caribbean men, right, are dying of this problem. That's 1 man every 45 minutes dying of prostate cancer. We have to try to put a stop to this, and, with the massive and grateful help that you guys have been giving us, we are going to make a difference with this issue. When you look at that mobile testing vehicle, I want you to look at it and say, you know what, I played a part in helping save lives.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's about. We support lots of different things. And like I say, it's not just about talking about it. We are going to be there walking with you. So those of you that are on the platform, the platform capacity now is just 100, because, we used to finance it all. So, and there's 130 or 150 people booked for this morning. So those that are on now, come down, come and meet us. You've seen me on the platform since November. Come and see the real Joan.
Yes. Yeah. And we've even invited BBC to come and see the real Joan, right? We haven't told them about Rudy and the Heels yet. We thought we won't punish them with that one until tomorrow. So please, come down.
Come down, and and we should be. It starts at 10 o'clock, and we should be finished by about 1, 2.
We should be finished, 2 o'clock. But you know what? Come down, enjoy yourself, mingle, meet. There's going to be a lot of media attention there, and you know what? I want the likes of June and Rudy to talk about the fantastic things that they are doing in the community and beyond, right? Because that's how we network. Look, if there's a chance for us to get a message out there, please, let's use it, in our masses. Let them come and see us in our masses, that we care about what's going on in the community.
Absolutely. So Errol, I know that you've got to whiz off, because you've got you've got a meeting with the hierarchy, the big wigs.
Hey, I've already had the meeting with the big wigs. You and Rudy and the team they don't come much bigger than that, trust me.
Oh, bless.
Big thank you everybody.
Thank you for coming on this morning. And it's been, as we said, it's been live streamed through Facebook. It's gone through to our YouTube channel. So the message is out there. You just got to keep push. Exactly. Walk and Talk Prostate Cancer charity walk, which is happening tomorrow, 22nd of August in Brockwell Park. Brockwell Park, which is in Brixton, South London. So come out, people, come out and support. I'll be there. Those of you know me, queen of queens, queen of walking, queen of stepping.
Yes.
So I'll be there.
Your cameras, bring your widescreen lens, because as I said to you, Rudy is not only walking in high heels, he's painting his toenails as well. I put him on a spot now, innit? Pink varnish on them toenails,
He's not saying a word.
No, he's never been this quiet. Never. Rudy, love you to the max, sir. Stay blessed.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much for that, Errol. So I'll see you tomorrow, my darling.
See you all tomorrow. Thank you.
See you tomorrow. God bless you. Take care.
Yes.
Right. So moving on now to this morning's sessions. This morning's session, Kings and Queens, let's get hot and sexy, and let's drop it like it's hot. But it's important to remember that it doesn't just happen just like that. We have to put certain things in place into our lifestyle to be able to get to a particular level of fitness. And that is what this morning's session is all about. So we've all put on our few COVID pounds here and there, and working from home, you've become quite sedentary. Don't beat yourself up about it. We've been flung into this pandemic, almost 2 years of living our lives like this, but we can make a change. We can make a gradual change. We can change the narrative. It doesn't have to be like this, but you're going to have to want to make that change. Let me just quickly mention, so this session is being live streamed through to YouTube, and it's also being live streamed through to Facebook. To hear about Future Queens Walking Group, exciting Zooms, please follow us on Eventbrite, because then you'll get the notifications. It's live stream, Queens 2020 Lockdown, YouTube channel. If you want to look at past Zooms, and we've done loads of Zooms on menopause, on fibroids, mental health, hair, Queen's Black Hair Rocks. We've done loads of different things. We've had some fantastic speakers come out within our community, and they've been educating us. You're supposed to come out of this pandemic with a PhD, I'm telling you, because we have gone to the max to give it the cream of our community in sharing their knowledge, and they want to come and share their knowledge. You can also check us out on Instagram. We have an Instagram page, Queens and Rudy J Media, loads of stuff on there. So it just leaves me to say, please have your pens and paper, your notebooks, whatever you take notes on, have it ready, for some life-changing information is going to be shared with you, some golden nuggets. And this morning's session, it really is all about our health. Our health matters. I'm tired of hearing about us in the statistics. We've got the high blood pressure, we've got the diabetes, all the other, health ailments that are out there. We seem to have the highest stats. Let's change the narrative. So Queens and Queens, you need to get ready. Make that commitment to change your life. Come on the 30-day challenge with Joe, because I'm telling you, it works. If you want to have good skin, pains in your body, by changing your diet and more especially your lifestyle, you will see significant differences take place. It's not because some of us are up in age. You can still look good, and be healthy at the same time. So welcome again to the Kings and Queens 30-day Intermittent Fasting Challenge, where we will introduce you to the world of fasting and all the benefits that come with it. Kings and Queens, it's time to start living our best lives. Are you ready to improve your quality of life, improve your sleep, remove parasites? And we've all got parasites in our bodies. Get rid of stubborn fat. Would you enjoy a better mood? Do you want clearer skin? Up your libido. Stop random pain. All these things can be alleviated and eradicated through this transformational program. So if the answer is yes, you need to try and sign up after we've come to the end of this session. So King Joe, where are you, my darling? I know you're here. I've seen you've got 2 devices on. So let's welcome to the platform Joe Dash, our wonderful, wonderful Joe Dash.
Good morning.
And he's going to talk about the melanin effect.
Yeah.
Hi, where are you, Joe?
I'm where I am. Can you see me?
Oh, yes, I can see you now.
Everybody, how's everyone doing this morning? Hope everyone's doing good.
Yes, we are.
So great
Welcome
to be
to
here.
the platform. We've missed you.
Oh, missed you guys too, man. So much has been happening. I'm excited. I'm excited to be back here and be able to lead our community into a far more better health space and giving them the tools to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the whole point. So I think you need to give me permission to share my screen.
Oh, hold on. You've got that now. So whilst that's happening, can I just pick up the walking groups? I know a lot of them would normally be here, but they're out walking. So can I pick up the South London, Southeast, so many walking groups, Southeast London walking group, Queens in East London, the Queens in Birmingham, the Queens in Croydon. I was out with them last week. Manchester, Luton Loonies, Harrow and Stanmore, Greenwich, Milton Keynes, Gants Hill, Enfield and Oakwood, Hatfield and Welwyn Garden City, Tottenham, Brixton, Wembley, Basingstoke and Reading, and our Streatham Queens. They're out stepping this morning. So big up all of them. And it's all come out from doing the Zoom in. A lot of them have been on the intermittent fasting program as well. And they've kept it up, which has been brilliant. I'm so proud of them.
That is amazing. I'm excited to share my knowledge with the people, get them in shape. This is what it's about, basically. So let me introduce myself. My name is Joe Dash. I'm the author of The Melanin Effect. I have 15 years plus experience in melanin biology. I'm an educator, intermittent fasting specialist, and a nutritional coach. So that means that my work is centered around helping people of color understand their health using a mixture of the deep science of melanin and also using nutritional therapy to tackle that psychological imbalance with food, because it is our relationship with food and our bodies that actually produce the results that we're seeing. But some of the results that we're seeing is very, very alarming for our community. And shout out to Mr. Aaron McCarroll for bringing those kind of statistics to the table so people can understand that how much of a big deal it is in our community, especially when it comes to men's prostate, or whether it be being overweight or fibromyalgia or fibroids or any of these things. These are all super important things to be aware of, and how we prevent them is just taking care of this amazing melanated body, okay? You can follow me on Instagram at joe.dash, that's Joe without an E, .dash, where I post different things on intermittent fasting or nutritional health or my podcast. And this picture you're seeing was taken at the Center of Pan-African Thought while I was lecturing melanin and nutrition and making our people understand that you have to protect this melanin at all costs. And the way we eat is related to our stress, our traumas, our childhood, or some sort of cataclysm that's happened in our lives that's forced us into poor eating habits. The most recent version of that would be lockdown, which has really, really taken a toll on the Black community's health in so many different ways. So my job today is to kind of give everyone the tools, give people some sense of awareness, and understand exactly where we are all going wrong to some degree. So what are we actually going to cover? We're going to actually understand what being healthy is, what is nutrition, micro versus macronutrients, because that's very important, nutrient deficiency, because 99% of diseases are linked to some form of deficiency when it comes to nutrition. What types of food should you be eating? What types of food should you be avoiding? All right. And what intermittent fasting is, and how does it benefit you, and how does 30 days of mindfulness can really turn this all around. Okay. So this is important because we need to start to understand what food is, what nutrition is, and kind of re-educate ourselves, because the way we've grown up culturally does not really to properly eat food. My first question to everybody is, why is it so hard to be healthy? This is an important question I always start to select. It's so hard. It must be hard to be healthy because our statistics show that we are not being as healthy as we're supposed to be. So I want people in the chat to put one word that describes why it's so hard to be healthy. And even if you've tried to be healthy in the past or done my challenge in the past, for you. So if you can put one word in the chat that sums up the answer for why is it so hard for you specifically to be healthy. I want to see in the chat. So why is it so hard? Just one word that sums up why is it so hard for you to be healthy? Because we understand health to some basic degree. We've been exposed to it. We've had, all sorts of commercialization of 5 a day, keto, all these kind of things. But consistently doing it is probably about 1% of our society. So what is one word? Yes, I love the honesty. Some people said lazy, time management, stress, discipline, food desserts. Yes, food desserts is a very, very, yes, indeed, habits, lack of motivation, willpower, absolutely. A variety of meals, true. We need to educate people more on a variety of meals. Willpower seems to be popping up quite a lot. Now, there's so many reasons in the environment why we are eating the way we are eating. Remember, food is a cultural relation, and it's also a relationship with yourself. In nutritional therapy, we break down and understand through a series of questions why people are struggling with health. We start to understand that actually, if your health is a reflection of your mental, because, gut health is akin to mental health. So for everybody putting in, thank you for everyone contributing and saying exactly that one word. For some people's money, some people's chronic fatigue, food choices, food and comfort, society, all of these are very much real reasons. They're all real reasons. They're all honest reasons. And it's a real thing, because somebody said uneducated versus media agenda. Yes, that's true. That's definitely the case as well. Because for years, an example of that is telling us that, we get calcium from dairy and milk. That was something that was pushed for years from primary school all the way up. And only for us to learn years down the line in nutrition that actually you don't get no calcium from no milk, right? Emotions is a big part of it, because emotions modulate your food choices. You see, we need to move away from, emotional motivated food to nutrition motivated food. That is the journey towards health, okay? And the only true health you will find is in nature. Your immune system, down to your nervous system, your skeletal system, all of these things, you find them strengthened by your symbiotic relationship with nature. Because we are disconnected from nature, we will find a pool of disease waiting for us. And emotions is a big part of it, okay? If you can't find time for health, you'll end up making time for sickness. One of the key things you have to understand about the food choices we have as people in our society is that it's either making you sick or making you healthy. Food does not have a middle ground, okay? Food does not have a middle ground. It's either making you sick or it's making you healthy. That's the two things when you put food in your body. Remember, eating is a communication system with your own body and your own DNA, right? So food carries information. Now we have to ask ourselves, the food we're eating, what type of information is it giving our DNA? Because that is the whole point. The food is a messenger. You're taking information from something and put it into your DNA and put it in a different type of formation that breeds either health or sickness, okay? The below shows data from the Active Life Service of, as published via Public Health of England data dashboard. The results show how excess weight in adults, percentage either overweight or obese, is not equally distributed among social groups. It is definitely not. So these are 4 main reasons that we struggle with health in society. Deprivation. In most deprived areas in England, prevalence of excessive weight is 9% points higher than the least deprived areas, right? So in deprived areas where there's poverty, low income housing, there is stress, there's anger, there's pressure, there's in trauma, there is so many different things. And that doesn't lead to healthy lifestyle and people looking after themselves properly. Disability is also a reason for some people in our society. Among people with disabilities, excess weight is 10% points higher than among those without disabilities. Obviously, mobility has a lot to do with that. Here's my biggest problem. In ethnicity, Black people have the highest rate of excess weight. And white British people have higher rates of excess weight than all other ethnic groups except Black people, right? And education also, among people with no qualification, rates of excess weight are 12%, percentage points higher than among people with level 4 qualifications or higher. Because the more successful we are in life, the more we climb the social ladder, the more open to education we are, the more things we learn, the more things we have access to financially and different things of that nature. Because eating healthy also has financial implications, of course, because, you know, when you go and buy a smoothie for £5, right? But a can of Coke is 79p or 59p. Obviously, money has a lot to do with it. But the problem is in our specific ethnicity, overweightness, obesity is massively there, and it's continued to grow. And that's a big problem because that could be environmental, external environment, or internal environment. So external environment could be just stress from, you know, external stimulus, whether it be from partnerships, from work, to, you know, being a parent, to all the stresses of life, all the way into your internal insecurities and traumas around food, because, you know, food has cultural significance. We know if you eat certain food, we can locate where you possibly are from, you know, from Oriental food to Caribbean food to African food. All these foods have cultural identity attached to them. Why it's difficult for people to transcend into health properly is because when you're asking people to be healthy or eat more healthy or even simply change their diet, what we're essentially asking is for you to change who you are, because food is tied to your identity of how you see yourself, right? Food is an extension of the internal environment. Your food selection can be modulated by mood, whether you're happy or sad. So it's very important for us to understand that whether it be trauma, whether it be being happy, whether it be any environment, food represents how we feel. Food is more emotional than it is logical for most people. That's just the way it is. Now, my job here is to give you some sort of better understanding or widen the conversation so you can see exactly where the problems may be, or get some education on understanding what food selections you should be having and why they're important, okay? Even children from more deprived areas are likely to be more overweight. Overweight. Why is that? Because we're buying cheaper food, right? Cheaper processed food that have, you know, tons of calorie and less nutrition inside of it. Okay, so even in developmental nutrition, when it comes to children, we have to understand that because they're still developing, their brains and organs and bones are still developing, they need the most amount of nutrition. But what we tend to do culturally is kind of spoil them with treats and empty calories and things of that nature. You know, if you give your child cereal in the morning and he's jumping up and down in the school, and then they turn around and say your child has ADHD or ADD, we can't really be surprised, can we? Because you've packed your child full of sugar. And if you understand what sugar does to the body and the brain, you understand that it disrupts learning. So excess sugar for children will disrupt their learning. Even in adults will disrupt learning, make it hard for memory, cognitive function. We live in an education system that really bases itself off of memory. That's why you have to revise. And behavioral-wise, sugar also modifies your child's behavior. He won't be able to sit still. He won't be able to work well with others. He'll be agitated. Right? So it's very important for us to understand that education is a key part of health and nutrition amongst our community, but most likely from growing up in deprived areas, chicken and chip shops were open all day long, right? Another question, is African and Caribbean food healthy? Yes or no in the chats. I want to know what people think. Is what you call traditional African food and traditional Caribbean food, are they healthy? Yes or no in the chats, please. Is traditional African food healthy? And is Caribbean food healthy? Okay, I'm getting a lot of yeses so far. Yes, 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 they can be. Oh, then the no's are floating in now. Depends on your portion size. People said both, yes and no. Both are healthy. Okay. Yes, depends on the way it's cooked. Okay. Portion size and the way of cooking. Is African and Caribbean food healthy? This is interesting because it's interesting to understand how we perceive our traditional food. Depends on the way you cook it. Yes, and depending on what you cook with it. All right. So now I like the fact that we have so much faith in our cultural food. I like that. We need to still stand by our food, right? Here's the issue. Majority of it is not. It's absolutely not. And this is why we have big, massive issues with prostate, with overweight, with diabetes, and it's growing massively in our community. The oils we use, and I like when people say depending on the way you cook it. Yes, the way you cook it can make alterations, of course. And how we source our food matters, of course. But it is a carb-based diet. It is rich in carbs. African food and Caribbean food is a high glycemic diet. It is not healthy. It is not healthy. It is carb-based. So your mac and cheese, your white rice, which is basically how most Caribbeans make white rice and peas, the seasoning you use. These are the key things: your seasoning, your oils, and your ingredients that you make to prepare your food. The deep frying of food, palm oils that we use. I'm from West Africa, so palm oil is a massive part of it. Very oily-based food, whether it be even the chicken we buy from here in the West, or the oxtails and all these kind of things, even the all-purpose seasoning, which is packed with salt and sugar. Your salt, your sugar, your oils are three things to get a grip on. And the processed meat and the way they process meat here, it is carb-driven. And this is why it's carb-driven, is why most of us have large amount of visceral fat. Visceral fat is the one around the midsection of the waist. It is carb-driven, right? Which means African and Caribbean food predominantly is unhealthy. And you can our statistics will reflect exactly why it's unhealthy, the way we eat it. And most of us do eat more traditional food than we eat Western food statistically. So culturally speaking, what we call African food, for example, whether it be fufu, whether it be pounded yam, whether it be jollof rice, these are all unhealthy versions of food. Palm oil is unhealthy. Most of the industrial oils we use, if you use vegetable oil, rapeseed oil, even olive oil to a degree, right? Which I'll talk about on the 30-day challenge heavily, because I think we're ready to have that conversation now, right? So olive oil I've been letting slide for years now, but I think we're all up to speed now of learning exactly the truth about olive oil. But so a lot of the oil we use is unhealthy. And the portion, yes, somebody said portion, absolutely. We disproportionately put our plates in a place where it is more carb driven than anything else, right? The white rice, the white yams, all of those kind of things, unhealthy, right? Too many carbs. I like that response. Too many carbs, okay? And it's very, very difficult. So African food and Caribbean food predominantly, it is unhealthy, okay? The question is, would you like to drastically improve your energy levels, like the Queen said, our immune system, brain power, skin conditions, quality of sleep, libido, weight loss results, and organ health? This is all to do with how you protect your melanin. Bear in mind, if you do not take care of that melanin, you will never be healthy. There is no such thing as health for Black people without the concern of melanin being involved. Why is that? It is melanin that is your immune system. Your immune system is melanin, not white blood cells, because naturally indigenous Black people have significantly lower counts of white blood cells than their European counterparts. This is why if you go to Africa, they tell you HIV and AIDS is rampant. Yes, because first of all, when you are testing for AIDS or HIV, or I think HIV, not AIDS, sorry, testing for HIV, they test for white blood cell count. The Black man and woman have significantly lower white blood cell count than our European counterparts. It is almost down to 1, sometimes in some tribes, in very rare cases, 0. Okay? It is your melanin, is your immune system. That is what's responsible for inflammation and everything else like that. Your serotonin is a melanin derivative. It's responsible for your mood and how you feel. Your melatonin is responsible for how you sleep and your organ health. And your ability to lose weight is dependent on how you treat melanin too. Okay? Your brain power, it is neuromelanin in the brain that results to dementia, Parkinson's, or Alzheimer's when you do not take care of your brain. Okay, nutrition-wise, that is your omegas, your niacins, and so forth, which we'll discuss a bit more later. So please understand, the Black body is different. Black women are built to significantly hold a bit more weight naturally, and we don't lose weight at the rate as our European women counterparts. You do not lose weight the same way, but you are under different types of stress, which means more likely you're emotionally driven towards food more than your European counterparts. However, that means we have to be way more mindful because we are not eating our indigenous food, which means that you are not facing the exact same problems. Your biology works differently, okay? it's very, very important that we understand that. And in my challenge, I go deeply into cultural significance of food, why we need to understand exactly why our food is unhealthy. Because the food we have now that we call cultural African food or Caribbean food is colonial food, okay? This is just us in our supreme brilliance trying to adapt to harsh conditions by gourmeting some of the, disgusting food that were given us during slavery times, right? And sometimes because, we're nomads by nature, we move around looking for, agricultural, healthy grounds. So it means that when we move or interact with other tribes, we adapt to their own systems. We share systems of agriculture, okay? Because we start off as hunter-gatherers first, and then we evolved into agriculture because it was more sustainable for a growing tribe. But you have to understand, it is the melanin you need to protect by being stress-free, by exercising, by eating good, balanced diet, right? A balanced diet is really the universal diet. It works no matter how you spin it, because it's not about keto, it's not about Atkins, it's not about all these diet fads. It's just about being mindful and having a balanced approach to health, okay? So big question, what is health first and foremost? Let's get educated, let's get up to speed, okay? So according to the World Health Organization that came into effect in 1948, describes health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. This is important, Black people. A state of complete, not half, not sometimes, not most of the time, a complete physical, mental, and social well-being, aka emotionally, how you interact with your environment, right? All these cylinders need to be firing for you to be considered healthy all the time. People might say, Joe, it seems like perfection, you're gonna be perfect. It's not about perfect. It's not hard to be completely physical, mental, and social well-being if you're practicing it daily, okay? So how that manifests in different people, physically, emotionally, mentally, is different. But as long as you are able to be complete in your physical, meaning you'll take care of yourself physically, you're taking care of yourself mentally, and your emotional interaction with the environment is, constantly in a balanced place, then you are considered healthy. But there's three different definitions also for health. Absence of disease or impairment is the popular one. So if you don't feel sick and you're not physically impaired, you feel like you're healthy. A state that allows a person to thrive and manage the daily demands of life. So if mentally you can't cope, emotionally you can't cope, or physically, excuse me, if physically you can't cope, then you'll be struggling with your health. So this is a great way to self-diagnose. If you're struggling on a day-to-day basis with the daily demands of the life you have created, that is an indication that your health is failing, because sometimes we don't know that our health is failing, right? Sometimes we just don't know, right? We're so used to being in a pattern of eating and that motion that we forget that actually mentally we're not in a great place, or emotionally we're up and down sometimes, but it's not impossible for you to find yourself consistently feeling at some sort of balance. That doesn't mean you don't get angry. That doesn't mean you don't get stressed at some points, but you understand how to diffuse that by being in a constant state of knowing and a constant state of balance, okay? The third definition is even very more important. A constant state of balance one has achieved within themselves, also between themselves and their physical and social environment. So when you're getting around people and say that I have social anxiety, that is not healthy, okay? If you're going somewhere and you feel low and you're depressed or you're paranoid, or these are not healthy states. Balance is always the formation for health. It's never one way or the other. So the first thing I mentioned earlier is about education, learning what health actually is. Because once we understand what being healthy is, then we can actually spot the difference when we're not feeling healthy. When something's wrong, we can identify it and actually have a structure in place to deal with it, okay? So let's understand nutrition a little bit. Let's understand exactly what that is. Nutrition is made up of macro and micronutrients that qualify something as food. Now, food has to have micro or macronutrients in it. Now, food is defined by its nutritional content. Food has three basic principles. It has to sustain, grow, and repair the entity that consumes it, right? So my question is, if you have a packet of crisps, or you have a chocolate, or you have cake, is that classified as food? I want people to put in the chat, please. Does a cake, biscuit, crackers, chocolate, alcohol, do these things classify as food? Yes or no in the chats. I want to know if this classifies as food. How do we perceive food? So if you're having a chocolate, a biscuit, or cake, or you have some alcohol or a fizzy drink, or you like your pastry, like your custard, or is these things food? Right. So we all understand that we are not eating food. So what are we eating? If it's not food, what have you been consuming? Right? Because the term junk food is incorrect. There's no such thing as junk food. It's either just junk or you're eating food. Because if it's food, it would have these three basic principles and have macronutrients to it. So the junk will not be able to exist here. So junk food is something that has no nutritional value in it, right? Oh, somebody gave an amazing answer, right? The person said emotions, that's what we've been eating, and that is correct. That is what I've been looking for. This is the first time someone's actually brought that up. What you've been eating is your emotions. Black people, we deal with so much trauma that food is, you're eating your emotion. You're not even eating food anymore, right? Because this is why our men, prostate cancer is just through the roof. This is why diabetes is through the roof. This is why obesity is on the high. And this is a problem as well. We live in a world now where we're trying to normalize being overweight, being obese. We're trying to normalize it. We're trying to tell people, hey, if you say anything about the health of people that are overweight or people struggling with obesity, which is a very, very hard thing to deal with emotionally and mentally, this is very difficult for people to deal with. And this is why we're passionate about trying to educate people more and support our people in the community. But we're living in a society where we're trying to normalize being overweight. And bear in mind, the concept of being overweight or obese is a new thing for society. We've only started normalizing this in the last century, because up to the whole way up to the 18th century, it was rich people and aristocrats that were overweight. The average man or woman was not overweight. How could you? You had to cultivate food, and it was only to the mass industrialization of food that we started to create overconsumption society, because you're constantly being bombarded with options. Now with Deliveroo, Uber Eats, if I look on your phone and there's like all 5 of these companies on your phone, you need to DM me and talk to me tonight, okay? You shouldn't have 4 Uber Eats, Deliveroo, what's the other one? Just Eat, and all of them on your phone. That is a problem. You will not be healthy if you have all 4 or 5 of them on your phone. You have to understand that the world is changing. You need to be self-aware of what is health, what is nutrition, what is living a healthy lifestyle. Because when you put yourself into those places, people have some great responses, you know, eating your emotions, sugar, junk, yes. So we are aware, right? Because we are addicted to our trauma. This is why food is forever a massive problem. We are addicted to trauma. We love our pain. We're in love with being in pain. It's the easiest emotion to go through. It's the easiest thing. And we've trained our body to reciprocate pain. So food is an extension of that, right? In nutritional therapy, we talk about portion control. If you have no portion control, or if you have a high glycemic diet, you have a sweet tooth, all of these things is you eating pain. The more sweet the food you eat is, the more of the pain you're trying to quench. But in reality, just like how drugs are, food becomes your drug, right? If you talk to someone on cocaine, they'll tell you life sucks without it. They'll tell you that, listen, me, I love my cocaine. I'm not going to quit my cocaine. That's how some people tell me, hey, I love my junk food and I'm just going to keep eating it. I can't get rid of cheese. I can't get rid of certain things. It is the same thing, right? It is an addiction. Your melanin is a binder. So biochemically, we struggle with addiction more than our other counterparts because of that melanin. It is a binder. It binds, especially to opioids. So our ability to come off addiction is far more greater. This is why statistically the average weight for a woman in this country is about 11 stones on average. But in the Black community, our average might be around maybe, you know, stones wise, maybe 13 stones, 12, slightly higher. And because culturally what we're dealing with is that we're eating our emotions, we're eating all this sugary refined stuff, all this refined food, and it's ingrained in our social construct. You know, we want to meet up for drinks. If you go on a date, let me take you out to dinner. Or let's have brunch. Let's do this. Food is the centerpiece of mankind. Even biblically, when Jesus broke bread, he didn't break anything else. He didn't break a stick. He broke bread because food symbolizes so many things in different cultures, okay? So nutrition, when you talk about food, it has to sustain, grow, or repair the entity that consumes it. So if we understand that these snacks and these things we're eating, because if I can make you mindful of every time you go into that non-food section, it is your emotions you're about to devour. Because if you're not eating food, you're eating your emotions. When you stop eating emotions and start eating food, you become more healthy. The reason why mental health and all these things is on the rise is also due to the way you diet and the way you eat. Because certain food will stimulate the wrong hormones, or will, bring down or overstimulate another hormone that you're not supposed to. An example of that, the overstimulation of insulin. Insulin is the fat storing hormone. Okay, insulin is the fat storing hormone. If you don't get your insulin under control, you struggle to lose weight. Okay, it is insulin, and the more insulin in the body, the more fat storing is happening. Right, and because of insulin, you produce all the oily substances in the body, like sebum, that actually makes acne and all these things. Your face starts to do all these things, and then it's very difficult because we want clear skin, but we're not eating right to clear the skin, and we're putting chemicals on the skin. Right, we need to get a grip on that. So, what is micro and macronutrients? Because we need to understand this, because the lack of these things bring about disease, and when you add these things in, they take away the disease. So, all the herbs or healthy living food that you see are providing micro or macronutrients. That's what they're providing, right? That's all they're providing, because you can either, like I said, eat like Dr. Sebi said, eat to live, or you're eating to die, right? Because food is either giving you life or it's not. What is the micronutrient, also known as a trace mineral? They are necessary only in very tiny amounts. Nevertheless, micronutrients are essential for good health, very essential. The micronutrient deficiencies can cause serious health problems. Micronutrients include such dietary minerals as zinc and iodine, just to name two, and they are necessary for the healthy function of your whole body systems, from bone growth to brain function. During this whole COVID, one of the big things I was telling my clients is have zinc and turmeric. Why is that? Because zinc stops viruses from duplicating in the cells. See, if we were already educated on our micronutrients and the macronutrients when the whole pandemic hit, we would have actually shifted ourselves in a much more advantageous place. It is a problem, because what I saw was in the stores that people's toilet tissue was running out. Meanwhile, the whole vitamin section was packed. So I'll go to Asda and be the only person in the vitamin section by myself with my basket, just having the pick of the litter while everyone was fighting over a toilet roll. Right? But you need these micronutrients, and these micronutrients come heavily in your salads, greens, fruits. Your greens, veg, and fruits are the key places for your micronutrients. Even your iodine, ladies, thyroid issues. Okay, you need iodine to convert those overactive T3 cells into T4 cells. This is your immune response. It is important that you have sensible levels of iodine. Trace minerals, meaning you don't need a big much of it. You don't need a lot of it. You just need a little bit of it. And you can get that from sea moss. That's why sea moss is such a big deal, right? But ideally from different sources of food as well is very important. Then you have your macronutrients, right? And the name suggests macronutrients are the nutritional compounds that your body needs in significant quantities for daily functioning. The three macronutrients, the three obvious ones, not the three only ones, are your carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, right? Which each supplies you with the most energy you need to operate. They all have different roles in your body overall, right? Now, this is important. Fats, everyone should be aware now, you need healthy fats for your diet, right? Healthy fats could be avocado, chestnut mushrooms, avocado oil, hemp oil, cashew nuts, things like walnuts, healthy fats. Now, healthy fats are what they call high density lipoproteins, and you have LDL, which is your low density lipoproteins. You would have been familiar with this if you have any cholesterol issues, or if you've spoken to your GP about cholesterol. Now, this is important because when you have too much LDL from fried processed food, that's where most of the LDL comes from, it causes problem, deteriorates the brain, and deteriorates the immune system. When you have HDL, high density lipoproteins, it is great, healthy for the brain. It is healthy for the muscles. It's healthy for your cellular membrane, which is made of cholesterol. The myelin sheath around your nervous system is also cholesterol. In fact, when you're underneath the sun, Black people, you convert cholesterol into vitamin D and you convert nitrogen. But the thing is, if you're going to go underneath the sun and you're going to go sunbathe, the more lighter skin you are, the more likelihood is you're going to burn. Right? Because people ask, can Black people burn underneath the sun? Of course you can. Of course you can. right? Especially with the amount of ammonia flowing through your body through the processed food you eat, then yes, you're giving your melanin a hard time, right? If you don't protect your melanin can't protect you. Since you're assimilating the food of the Europeans, you will also suffer their consequences underneath that sun, okay? So your micro and macronutrients is how you select your food, right? Your carbohydrates, and there's healthy carbs and there's bad carbs too, right? Now, if you are anemic, for example, absorbing protein and things like that will be difficult, and your iron deficiency will be through the roof. Now you have to understand, having iron, there's different types of iron. There's heme iron from animal-based food, and there's just plant-based iron, okay? Now, you need a healthy balance of both, to be quite honest. It's not just one thing over the other. Even when people want to become vegan, I told them you have different vitamin D. You have vitamin D2, which is sourced from plants, and vitamin D3, which is from sunlight or animal fat. Why is that? Because vitamin D3 stores itself in adipose tissue, which is just fat tissue, right? It stores itself there. And then when your body needs it, it pulls from that, right? It's actually converted into a hormone that goes into your cell. Vitamin D is important, specifically, especially when it comes to your bones, because you can absorb calcium without vitamin D. So without vitamin D, you can't absorb much calcium. So you need vitamin D, right? And in order to get the calcium, but the calcium is also important, not just for bones, but calcium is also a good muscle relaxer. Okay, so if you're suffering from cramps and stuff like that, just get some vitamin D and calcium in you, okay? Now, this is important because your vitamin D3, if you're plant-based like myself, you're gonna have to supplement vitamin D3 or go underneath the sun. There is no vegan-based version of vitamin D3, right? And if you're gonna point me towards an algae, which is the only, well, if you wanna call it a vegan, I guess, because it's non-fat, animal fat, but it's not healthy for you. If you want proper vitamin D3, you need to go underneath the sun, or you supplement it, and they're going to pull it from animal fat. That's just the way it is, right? Because vitamin D2 is not enough to raise your overall vitamin D levels in your body, and that's what you get from plants, right? So supplementing becomes very important if you're plant-based in this part of the world. Now, if you're in the Caribbean or Africa, this is a whole different conversation, okay? It's very, very important that we understand that when we're taking these dietary options, we understand the implications of our bodies. Because remember, even when it comes to weight loss, different body shapes require different assistance. This is why I like doing one-to-ones where I can professionally bespoke it, because your body type doesn't react the same as somebody else's body type. So sometimes when we run the program and we're in the WhatsApp group and we're posting so much meals and food, everyone thinks everybody should eat the same thing. And I'm like, nope. Depending on your condition as well, some people have conditions, it will alternate what type of dietary requirements you need, because your body will prioritize its biggest problem over everything else, okay? So that's something that we teach heavily on the challenge as well, is understanding how to eat for your body type specifically. So what happens when we don't have enough nutrition in the body? What happens? What kind of dangers do we face? Because if we're not having enough nutrition and we're eating our emotions, we're eating our way into a slow, painful death. That's what we're doing when we eat our emotions. You cannot keep eating your emotion, okay? You have to deal with them. Therapy is a big thing, whether you go see a nutritional therapist like myself or you go see an actual therapist. Either way, you need to go and seek that counseling. The problem is culturally, when I was growing up, all the women in my family post 40 were overweight, and they spent more time in church than they did going to get mental health and physical health. Right? This is no attack or knock on the church. I'm just saying culturally, this is just where we are. We need to be able to have the balance of both and make people also understand you need to mentally go and deal with your emotional traumas, because you are eating them on a daily basis, okay? Because that dopamine hit that you're after is to make the body feel good. It's about soothing the body on a superficial level. But in actuality, it's also killing it. There is no health or healthy destination in eating your emotions, okay? Because your emotions are modulating your behavior, and they're telling you what food to pick. Oh, I've been good this week, I deserve a cupcake. Deserve? Because that's what I hear much from people. I deserve a cupcake. I deserve some of this. I deserve it. I deserve. But deserve means something that's owed or entitled or something that you've accomplished. But eating healthy is not an accomplishment only if you are coming from a place where you were sick from eating unhealthy and now you want to eat healthy. Brilliant. I understand the accomplishment. But this is how you're supposed to eat. This is how you're supposed to eat. It is our ideals, our belief system around food that is the problem. It's what our beliefs are, our ideas around food, our cultural identity with food is the problem. how we've normalized certain eating behavior, right? Some people stay up late and they start eating, snacking, and they don't have the willpower, they don't have the discipline to actually with this problem. So statistically, when we put ourselves in a bad place, that's when the government comes in and says, well, we need to prioritize Black people for this experiment and that experiment, because statistically, you guys have the biggest problem. So sometimes we hand ourselves over on the plate and we have to hold ourselves accountable for that. It may not be our fault that we've come to this place, but it fix it moving forward, okay? So nutrition deficiency, right? I just want a yes or no if you've ever experienced any of these things, right? Yes or no in the chat, please. If you've ever looked at fatigue, pale skin, weakness, trouble breathing at any point, unusual food cravings. I'm not talking about pregnancy here. Hair loss, periods of lightheadedness, constipation, sleeplessness where you're struggling with sleep, heart palpitations randomly out of nowhere, feeling faint, depression, yes, linked to micronutrient deficiency, tingling or numbness of the joints, or joints clicking every time you make a move, your joints are clicking like it's beatboxing. Menstrual issues such as missed periods or heavy period cycles or poor concentration. Heavy periods are not normal. They're normal, I guess. They've been normalized in society, but they're not natural. You should not be having heavy periods. Heavy periods is severe hormonal imbalance. Heavy periods is I'll talk about dieting for your menstrual cycle. I'll talk about dieting for menopausal and premenopausal people on the challenge. If you've got somebody in the family that is pregnant or expecting a child, what kind of developmental nutrition, prenatal nutrition should they be on? What kind of foods help with breastfeeding? Because a lot of women struggle to breastfeed after they have their child. Yes, you are not nutritionally gaining anything during your pregnancy. You're obviously, because of the hormonal changes in the body, you're craving everything that's unhealthy underneath the sun, right? But if you've had any of these things, you have been micronutrient deficient, right? Micronutrient deficient. And this is where the problem starts. These symptoms are your body crying out for help and telling you, Houston, there is a problem. And if we do not listen to these things, if we do not adhere to them, if we do not act on them, they develop into full-blown chronic diseases like diabetes and everything else, right? And type 2 diabetes is you can reverse that in 3 months. In 3 solid months, you can reverse type 2 diabetes, okay? Because type 2 diabetes is directly connected with your health and what you're eating, okay? And they're cutting off limbs for diabetes. I don't think there's a piece of cake worthy of your leg or your arm. I don't think that rice and peas and all of that is worthy of cutting off any of your limbs. Because what we'll do as Black people, what do? We go and bury somebody that's died from some disease that we're all sad from. And what do we do at the wake, or what do we do at the reception? We eat the same food that made us bury the last person. We have to be more conscious about food and our identity and what it means. We identify ourselves with food that is not our own. What you call traditional Caribbean food and what you call traditional African food is actually not your tradition. We've traditionalized it, of course, over the centuries, but it's not indigenous to you. That's why we're struggling health-wise in it, okay? So if you have trouble breathing and you're not asthmatic, weakness, fatigue, you're just tired all the time, you've got constipation, sleeplessness, all these things are micronutrient deficiency. You're not having enough balanced diet in your system. You don't have enough salads. You're not having enough water. Water also is a big deal. We got to normalize drinking lots of water, at least 2 liters of it. You got to drink water. I don't want to hear people post 30 years old telling me they don't drink much water. You have to drink water, okay? Water is life. Water is good for your joints. It's good for your brain. It's good for your fatigue. It's actually an antioxidant, okay? Because the food we're eating is speeding up your aging process. It is speeding up your aging process, right? It's causing oxidation in the body. So when you're eating processed food and you're eating all these snacks and junks, like I said, put your mind in a space where if I'm not eating food, I'm eating my emotions. The only thing that exists outside of food is my emotions. So you can eat certain food that depress you. Because really eating junk food or eating, I hate that term, right? Your food is not a dustbin. Don't just shove anything into it, right? Because we take more care of external value things than we do of ourselves, right? If your living room floor, that might be at the end of a whole friendship. Nonsense into your car. You wouldn't put diesel into a petrol car, and you shouldn't put petrol into a diesel car. But when it comes to our bodies, we put in it. we understand the emotional implications of poor eating and health. And until we get a grip, until we are honest, this is another thing as well that we need to understand, that I have to tell people. You have to normalize yourself when it comes to eating. You know when you're eating good and you know when you're eating bad, right? The problem is a lot of people are not ready to eat healthy or be healthy yet. They're not ready yet to be healthy, is because a big portion of you is addicted to eating the way you're eating. And there's no form of addiction that's healthy. Okay? So what does a balanced diet look like? Let's have a look at it really. All right? So I was going to give you the schematics of exactly what healthy diet looks like. So no matter what you're eating, half of your plate, a lot of the people that have taken my challenge know this already, and I hope they carried it on. Half of your plate needs to be greens and veg, okay? Half your plate should be greens and veg. Half of your plate, not half your plate being the problem. The African and Caribbean diet is high in carbs. It's too glycemic, right? And a third of your plate should be sauce, and the other third of your plate should be your whole grains, right? If you're going to do carbohydrates, lean on your whole grains. If you have things like IBS, that is a different thing. You need to consult with a nutritionist or a nutritional therapist before you use that for carbs. Because if you got IBS or IBD, you do not want too much fiber rich in your diet because it will cause problems in your gut. But half your plate should always be, because I grew up in a African household where salad was the little thing you put on the side of your plate. Or in fact, salads got ridiculed, got moved off the plate into a separate plate. We don't even want it on our plate no more. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we've changed completely. Even when I've gone to Caribbean functions or African functions, I see my aunties with 2 plates in their hands overflowing with rice and trying to manage half the whole catering on their plates, right? Because it's normalized. This is what we do. But we have to move away from that, okay? So now I've ruined Christmas and your birthday and everything else. What food should you be eating, okay? What food should we be eating? So should you try to avoid, sorry. So this is the basic things. Let me run through it. This is the basic stuff, okay? So if you're going to avoid foods, these are some food groups you need to avoid. Carbs to avoid is white bread, white rice, white potato, white pasta. White starchy foods are a no, okay? Oils to avoid, rapeseed oil, any refined oil. Canola oil is the same as rapeseed oil. I don't know why I put it there twice. Sunflower oil, vegetable oil, even olive oil. However, if you're new to healthy eating, extra virgin olive oil is a good change, okay? However, you do want to stay on that for too long. You want to move over to extra virgin coconut oil, hemp oil, or avocado oil, okay? Sugars to avoid, of course, refined sugars. Stay away from them. Crisp, refined, sugary, salty snacks. Stay away from those processed food. Junk food is never great, okay? And cut down on your processed meats. Bacon, horrible. Frankfurter sausages, horrible. Mincemeat, the processed ones, horrible. Stay away from these processed food. These are the processed meat that's linked to cancer, okay? If you like your meat, go for grass-fed beef. Yes, it's more expensive. Yes, it is. But it's the only healthier option compared to the stuff they're selling you in the supermarket, okay? So your white carbs, your oils to avoid, sugars to avoid, and even your seasoning, your all-purpose seasoning, your Dun Rivers, all of those things are just unhealthy as hell, okay? You have Celtic salt, you have Himalayan salt, natural herbs to use to season your food, and it'll still taste amazing, okay? Because salt and sugar has killed more Black people than any other disease or any other thing on the planet. So trust me, our biggest enemy is the amount of sugar and salt we put in our bodies, okay? So foods you should be eating, carbs to use. You have lentil pasta, chickpea pasta. If you haven't heard about lentil pasta, chickpea pasta, you're in for a treat. It is filling and is delicious. Wild rice or brown rice, we should know by now there's no such thing as white rice in nature. There is no such thing as white rice in nature. That is just bleached, chemicalized rice, okay? Sourdough bread, if you want to do bread. If you want to switch over, go into your wholemeal section over your white versions of them, okay? Oils to use, like I mentioned, your virgin coconut oil, virgin hemp oil, virgin avocado oil. You can use virgin olive oil if you're transitioning. Proteins for people that are plant-based or vegetarians. You have your black beans, your chickpeas, your red lentils, kidney beans. If you're you can use omega-3 and all these kind of things. Fruit and veg to be your daily intake, okay? So make sure that your fruit and veg is your daily intake. Keep taking your fruit and veg daily. That should be predominantly of your diet, regardless. Fruit and veg should be the predominant thing, okay? Intermittent magic, the magic thing now. Why is it magic? Because our ancestors taught us about intermittent fasting, because we eat in line with the winter and solar system. We eat in line with the ancestral voices. We eat in line with the Amen Ra, the God. Just ate up like it. Okay? We put God first. We put the creator first in everything. Black people are religious by nature. God is in front. Even in ancient, to show you how it, and you put Olu first, Ade first. You put God's name first. Building our societies, how we constructed our cities, we weave God into it, even in our kente clothing. So in our food, if we're weaving the Most High into our food, what would it look like, right? Nature, of course. So 12 to 8 is the system which is much more popular, and it's much more the easiest thing to do. So 12 p.m. up to 12 p.m. water or some herbal teas, okay? Avoid coffee, avoid teas, because they have caffeine in them. Caffeine is a problem for your nerves. Stay away from caffeine, okay? Caffeine disrupts the body completely, right? And on the program. So 12 to 8 is pretty much the standard, but it's not the only one. So some people, depending on their situation, we can shift it around. But 12 to 8 is pretty much standard one that you can do, which means from the morning to 12 p.m., you can have water, which you should. You should have at least 4-5 glasses of water at 500 milliliters per day anyway. So from 12 p.m. to eating window. Your eating window is important. Meal is during the day. Okay, is where you have your heaviest meal, where your body can digest and process that into usable energy and not store more fat. Okay, and after 8 p.m., herbal tea if you want, with no honey or milk in it, or you can have one too, right? And that is the structure that you normally use on the challenge. It's very effective and it helps weight loss immensely, right? Because if you have too much insulin in your blood, you will not lose weight, because as your insulin goes down, your human hormones go up, which helps you burn fat. Right? Burning fat is not the same as getting rid of fat. Burning fat is getting rid of it. You have to shrink the fat cell. That's why you lose body fat. And in that fat cell, you need more human growth hormones going in and less triglycerides in the body, which means less insulin. Okay? And that calorie restriction allows that to happen. It allows human growth hormones to happen. It allows your melanin to repair your melatonin. Okay? So 12 to 8 is your eating window. Some of the great things that happen when you're doing that: improved cognition, neurotrophic factors production, synaptic plasticity, mitochondrial biogenesis, resistance to injury and disease. You develop your brain-derived neurofactors. Your brain-derived neurofactors will keep that Alzheimer's away, will keep dementia away, can keep Parkinson's away. Right? I know in a lot, especially in the Caribbean community, there's a lot of our family members, especially might be Alzheimer's and things like that, and we know how much pain it causes the family. So let's make sure that we, in this stage, we develop a strong, healthy brain, okay? And that's your omegas, your vitamin B3s, and that comes from your avocados, your healthy fats, chestnut mushrooms, things of that nature, fortified cereals and things of that. Your cardiovascular system, reduce blood pressure. So people that have high blood pressure, intermittent fasting is powerful for people with high blood pressure. It will reduce it in 30 days if you stick to it in a proper way. Which gives you more endurance, especially when you're going out for your walk, queens. You need to go for your amazing walk that's been curvaceous body of yours. That cardiovascular system, intermittent fasting helps with that. Your adipose tissue, you shrink your fat cells. You reduce inflammation. When you're overweight, you create oxidative stress in your body. You create. This is why joint problems happen. This is why people get arthritis and all these other issues. Muscles increase insulin sensitivity, enhance efficiency and endurance. So when you're going out for your one straight day, intermittent fasting is amazing for that. Your intestines, because you're not packing it with food, enhances motility, reduces inflammation. When your gut is growling, it's called a motor complex. You're pushing all the bad bacteria from your small intestine into your colon. Your glycogen depletion, ketone production, meaning that your body starts burning more fat than sugar, which is what you want to do if you want to lose weight, right? So, you reduce glucose and insulin and leptin levels increase, elevated adiponectin levels, which is great. This is to give you a much more, less cholesterol in the blood, more free flowing blood in the veins, less pains on joints and stuff like that. A healthy blood circulation, which means more endurance. You get more oxygen in the body, which means your body is staying youthful long, right? This is very important. Intermittent fasting also is linked to helping things like certain types, as we discussed, because you build brain-derived neurofactors that help that. Type 2 diabetes, if you have any heart disease, obesity, of course, IBS, arthritis, autoimmune conditions, fatty livers, these are all problems in our society, infections, neurodegenerative diseases, premature death, all these things. Tool to offset these things if you make it a lifestyle, right? Days is just your body into a more healthy lifestyle, but you have to sustain it, which is something I talk about heavily in our last Zoom session on the 30-day challenge. These things are massive things that are everyday problems in our community. So intermittent, when it comes to these things, so prevention is better than cure, okay? So how does 30 days of mindfulness reduce stress, depression, anxiety? If you're stressed all the time, you're going to flood stress hormones in your body, which will stop you from losing weight. Okay. If you're staying up late all the time into 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 1 a.m., you will struggle to lose weight. You have to sleep. Being a night owl does not go well with trying to lose weight. All right. Improving your mood is important, which will change your food selection. More effective digestion, reduce blood sugar levels, which is important, especially for my pre-diabetics or my diabetics. And most relationship with food. It is not about overindulging. Okay. So, question: put A, B, and C days look like for everyone? What does it look like? Be honest with yourself. Are you ready to be healthy or not? Either way, it is your choice. But unless you know where you are, truthfully, you cannot do anything about it. So if you are, then you know how to time yourself. But I'm telling you, to prepare our community. We're not waiting for another wave of nonsense to come in and take the lives of our loved ones. We're not waiting for that. Say tomorrow we become procrastinators immediately. Life exists in the present. There is no such thing as tomorrow. Everything is in the now. So whatever you're doing now, right? A great African proverb is like, how do you end up with a tree? You plant it 5 years ago. Do you understand? So if where you are now is not in the best healthy space, it's because of decisions you made 4 or 5 years ago. Okay? So if you don't do it now, you're going to repeat the human predictable. Why? Because we're creatures of habits. Let's make people predictable. So A, are you going to step up and do the 30-day transformation of your healing? We're going to really get your body where you need it to be, get your confidence where we need it to be, deep dive, start to understand where did this happen from, get you living your best life, get you looking good. Because remember, Christmas now is down the road. Yam up your Christmas food, get your body right. Yeah. No judgment. When you're ready, we are here. The Queen's group is going nowhere. We're here, open arms. The doors are open whenever our Queen. Or C, make mindful adjustments from this segment, understanding some basic education on nutrition and health and why it's such a big problem and why it's connected to your emotions. So what are we doing? Is it A, B, or C? Because we may tell ourselves that we want something, but our actions speak more about who we are, right? So what does that mean? So thank you for the end of our presentation. I love doing these talks. Community, I love empowering us, right? Follow me on Insta at Josh. You can go to the melanineffect.co.uk/30-day challenge, right? And this is very important because we're starting in September. Last minute, September asking, can I join? No, you will not be able to. Okay, so do great. It's a whole group, yeah. And for some of you that don't use WhatsApp for whatever reason, just for the challenge, please, if you want to get involved, we're just going to use it. It's just easier to get everyone there at one time, right? What is it including? If for people that are beginners in this health or people that still one, because it involves one-to-one private nutritional coaching. If you've never had any therapy, it is brilliant. It is a mixture specifically in addition to food and how we create a better, more an ecosystem that will produce healthy outcomes. We have our weekly webinars on nutrition and melanin. You're going to learn some amazing stuff on melanin. I promise you that. You have a 30-day challenge guide. And we have a support group where we share our dishes, we share our fitness hacks. It is amazing. We have it's a great experience, and we are tribal, which means we will operate better in groups. Okay, it means we operate better in groups. So you're better off being in a group than being by yourself. And it's important because I want people to share the knowledge they've learned today with everybody, to each one. Okay, and on this program is because it takes so much work to be healthy on your own. You need accountability. You need someone to coach you, teach you the ways of how to do it. And I think it is something that's transformational. Some of you have already done this program in this webinar today, and they will tell you what it's for them. And this is some of the most transformational information that I've come across in the past 4 or 5 years. And every time I get to share it with the community, I empower everybody to go and join this challenge in September. We're in the winter months. So by the time the family reunion comes in December and it's a Christmas time, hopefully we're not on lockdown and we can see our loved ones. You want to look good. You want to look different. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You want to feel good, because if you look good, you feel good, right? Most importantly, I want you to be healthy. That's my biggest concern. I want my community to be healthy. I want less men with prostate cancer to be available. I want to see less ovarian cysts, less fibroids in women. We want to keep that womb healthy. You operate from your womb spiritually, culturally, biochemically. If your womb is unhealthy, your whole being is disturbed. Do you understand? So we need to keep this thing healthy. We need to make sure that even menopausal, 900,000 women had to leave work during in the past few years due to issues. We don't have the facilities in these corporate buildings to support that, right? And it's not even facilitate some healthy living and healthy eating, because all that healthy stuff you see at your work, it looks healthy aesthetically, but without the education, you don't even know how to actually make use of it. Each and every one of you this morning that got up to join. Joan, it's always a pleasure. Thank you. I always get excited when I get a chance to come on the platform and talk to the queens. You are the queen of queens in leading the way for all of us to be healthy. King Rudy, is always a pleasure, sir, to be underneath your care and talk to you. Thank you everyone for your time. And yes, I'm rooting to see this new group. I love meeting new people. I love helping people achieve their goals. This is the passion. This is the drive, especially people of color. We don't have many people doing what we do, right? That specify the science and the biochemistry towards your biology and DNA. This is why our Black women are struggling in their postmenopause, postnatal situations in the NHS. Now it's become a big problem. I was speaking about this 6-7 years ago. I told everyone it would be a problem. If women are dying in the hands of an NHS, they don't understand that you have more denser nerve endings. They don't understand your pain threshold is different. They don't know how to diagnose have no. Literally, they don't understand how to even understand you. So, and you get a free copy of the Melanin Effect book that I wrote for my people. So if you join the VIP, and there's also a deluxe version, there's other versions on there that for the more, if you're more experienced health in person, then you can take the deluxe if you're more experienced. If you know what you're doing, you just need a bit more reminding of the science. But if you know you cannot execute like that, get that one-to-one, because I want everyone to have the results. I am a results-driven person, and so is Joan, and so is Rudy. We care about results. And if we didn't get results, we wouldn't be doing this. We need results that actually change the community for the better. So Joan, thank you very much. And thank you everybody for listening.
Joe, another powerful session. And, we had Errol McKellar on earlier, and it's very much about, we don't just talk, it's about the doing. Yeah. On this 30-day challenge, I am actually, and you can tell them, I'm on the challenge with you guys. And I face the same struggles. There's certain things I won't even have in my house because I'm going to eat it. Yeah. Wheatness for Ferrero Rocher chocolates. I can't have that in my house. Cashew nuts. I can't have it in my house because I'll eat the whole packet. Let's just keep it real. Yeah. We all have our, some might call it demons, our challenges with food, with certain drinks, etc. But the time comes in life when, and it's just like you said, Joe, you got time for sickness, make time for health. And when we went into lockdown And for me, one of the real kind of like profound things was the mere fact that gyms had shut. And it was, for me, it was like, how was I going to keep myself healthy? I knew I had to do something, yeah, because I would be probably like a fridge now if I was, because we're all at home working. That's the reality. The biscuit drawer is dusted because my grandchildren, they come round, so I have loads of things for them. And I know I'll be, you know, 2 biscuits, 3 biscuits, you know, and that's one of my weaknesses as well. You know, I'll be on that lick. So now is the time really for us to, you know, just not beat ourselves up about it. You know, we've all fallen off the wagon here and there, but just say, right, for the next 30 days, invest that time and whatever in yourself. Absolutely. You know, we've got money, we'll pay the electric, we'll pay the gas, you know, the council tax. Put some love into yourself. If you can't put love into yourself, invest in yourself, well, you know, anyway, what's the point? We're going to be working for the system. No. I've done lots of sessions on self-love, loving ourselves, and this is just another way to invest in ourselves, to love ourselves, put ourselves first. And when you first came onto the platform, Joe, what really blew me away was your love and the passion, and you talk about it from our beautiful, rich melanin perspective. Yeah, that's what kind of like sold the whole concept to me. Because I've done fasting things, you know, I've done little 3 days here, a little 2 day, 1 day, what have you. But this is a whole different world. And the thing is, once you get on it, it's really hard to come off it, because I know for myself, the way in which I've transitioned, and we've been, I think, was it in February we did the first one?
Yeah, the first one was in February.
Yeah, so we did the first one in February, and I know and because I've continued it, I've had my little dalliances, yeah, but because I've continued, I find when I eat certain things now, my stomach, my system is just mad with me. Yeah, my system, honestly, my system just gets mad with me. I feel, it just makes me feel, if anything, kind of like ill. And I said, you know what, Joan, you need to stay away from them certain things, because my system is quite clean now. And that's what it does. It cleans out. And it takes some 30 days. It's just like it's like a kickoff, really. But it's to be able to, and in what it is with the 30 days, it gets you into that really good mindset and that space. And it's the education and the learning about food. I mean, imagine, you've actually got me to eat okra raw. And I love it. You know, when you first said, you can drink okra water, for, oh my God, drink okra water. Oh. You know, I cut it up in your salad. I thought, oh, but you know what? Me and okra is good friend. No, I love it.
Oh man, when I first said that in the lectures, I was in SOAS, and I said that everyone looked at me, and I'm like, listen, I use it for pre-diabetics and diabetic people to reverse their type 2 diabetes. That okra water is powerful.
It works. It's powerful.
Very powerful.
We don't realize how powerful our food, once you know what to eat, yeah, and the structure. Absolutely. I couldn't believe it. Yes, I mean, I am now, you know, I've always got my little container of okra water, you know, and I cut it up in my salads and I put it in my smoothies, because it's all about keeping this temple to the max and looking after yourselves. So yes. So what I'm going to do now, Montrese, my darling, I'm going to take a couple of questions, probably about 3 questions, or any particular themes that are coming through, because I really want to go on. So we've got we're up to capacity 100 people on the platform, so I'm going to have a lot of unhappy guests contacting me. We couldn't get on. But you know what they say, the early worm or the early bird catches the worm. So my darling Montrese from Dare to Be Natural, our wonderful host for the chat. Hey, so if you unmute yourself, my darling, and what questions do we have? Let me see, me ask to unmute. Oh, you've gone back.
Unmute, Montrese.
There we go.
You're here. Here.
There we
Wonderful.
go. Good morning.
Hey.
Oh, that was amazing, Mr. Dash. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much.
There are a few questions. Let's jump right to it then. So one of the questions is, How much vitamin D does the body need on a daily basis?
I always recommend 4,000 international units daily. If you're asthmatic or have any acute respiratory illness of any sorts, then I'll recommend 10,000. Because something that people don't know is that vitamin D also is a powerful, powerful healer of acute respiratory illnesses. So especially if you have a viral cold or whatever the case may be, when my patients were having COVID, I was like, have 10,000 plus vitamin D3. So 4,000 international units is better for people of color. Our European counterparts don't need that much. They can have 1,000. That's why they recommend, most of the recommendation from GPs is like 1,000, 1,005, 2,000, sorry. But 4,000 is what I recommend, because if a Black person stood in the sun for 30 minutes, you create excessive of 20,000 international units in the conversion. So it's natural.
Nice, nice, well done, thank you. There are about three more questions, so I'll just go to the next one. Somebody wants to know, do you run a train the trainers program?
Not yet. I haven't had enough demand for it yet. If I do have enough demand for it, meaning like at least 10 people, then I'll put one on, but I haven't yet. So normally it's just one-to-one coachings I do, but yeah, if I have enough demand for it, I'll do more training courses for trainers, of personal trainers, for midwives, anyone that wants to deal with Black people's health. You need to understand how melanin works, because otherwise you're just not doing what you need to do genetically. So I will run, but it's the supply and demand. So if people, let Joan know, Joan will let me know, we just make it happen, man. We're here to be of service. So yeah, I would at some point.
We need in our community, we need like 100 of me, 100 of yourself, Joe, to have that impact in our community, because we're talking UK-wide, Black people everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a course for it though. I've written out a whole curriculum for a 4-month course on training people to do what I do. Or written out. Just if the demand is not there, then yeah, no problem.
Very good. Somebody wants to know, is there natural food to take for controlling pain in the whole body?
Well, when it comes to food is not allopathic medicine. So there is no food you can just take that will just deal with your pain. There's none. Food doesn't function like that. Food is there from a preventative point. When it comes to healing, you can, devil's claw and herbs, things like that will be very good for pain. You can go to herbs for that, but even that, you have to take it over time and condition the body for that. But for the most part, how you go look at healthy eating is about healing the body over time, so the body gets away from pain. Pain is inflammation. So reducing that inflammation takes time. So food is not a group where you can just take something and then the pain gone. Like, it don't work like that. So the best way to look at it is, if I eat healthy, I regulate my immune responses. And if I'm regulating my immune response, it means that less pain, because the body will deal with it or prevent it from even becoming a problem. And that's how you got to look at naturopathic medicine. So yeah, the honest answer, there is no one food that just take away your pain. No, there isn't.
Very good. Thank you for that answer. Somebody wants to know how to make okra water.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, the first time everyone's looking at me like, what are you talking about? So here, normally what I do is you get like a 1.5 to 2 liter bottle, and you take like 3, 4 okra, you just cut them in pieces and put them into the bottle and let it seep in overnight. And that water, you can use it for a smoothie, is what I normally use for it. Use it for a smoothie. And what's great about the okra water is that it helps suppress sugar cravings, because what it's doing is providing potassium and chromium and the proper micronutrients that I spoke about, and helps store sugar properly and stops your body from going hypoglycemic. So when you go hypoglycemic, that's when you start to crave a lot more sugar. So to properly store sugar is very important. So that okra water kind of helps subside some of the cravings, that gives you enough fighting chance to actually store sugar properly. So that's why okra is such a powerful thing. So, and it reduces blood sugars anyway. So if you take an okra every day, your blood sugar will go back down to a normal rate. But yeah, that's how I do it. I use the water in smoothies. It's just easier to drink. Or you can drink it just like that too, if you want to challenge yourself.
Yeah. Is it an acquired taste, drinking it just water and okra?
Yeah, it's an acquired taste. But this is why I say to people, approach health and food from a necessity point of view, than a emotional point of view. You got to get away from emotional feeding to nutritional feeding. Do you understand? And it's the emotional feeding is the problem. If the food doesn't make me feel good, then it's bad food. We got to get away from that mindset. That mindset will surely bring about the problem, which will bring you back to the okra water anyway to solve it.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. I have 2 more questions.
Of course.
Now, if time permits.
Yes, that's fine.
Someone wants to know what your views are on ACV.
So here's my thing on apple cider vinegar, right? If that's what you're talking about, I'm assuming apple cider vinegar. If that's what you're talking about, yeah. So apple cider vinegar. Here's the thing. It's a 2-part thing. There's no real clinical study on what actually that thing does to the body. There's none. However, people have reported many good things. Experiences matter. That's part of scientific research. If I recommend it for blood, that's one thing I do know enough that we can actually say, come on now, there's enough conversation around that to suggest enough case studies around that. But anything else from weight loss to anything else, not really. There is no real solid clinical trials on that. But it has been known from different people to be very useful. So if it's working for you, hey, go ahead. But that is my honest scientific answer for that, is that my recommendation on it is more to do blood sugars. But outside of that, there's not enough study to suggest it helps you lose weight or any of those things. Or for me, so that's my point.
Very good. Thank you for that. Someone, I think I heard you mention it. Someone asked about Irish moss. What are your thoughts on Irish moss?
On Irish moss as well. For me, it's a very powerful superfood. It's very useful. We definitely have for iodine levels, because that's that if it puts your iodine levels too high, it could become problems for your thyroid. So I would test yourself while you're taking it, but it's safe. There's no really massive cases of side effects from CMOS unless people had pre-existing conditions before. And if you've got a pre-existing condition already, then I would consult my physician first rather than just jump at it. If you don't have a condition, then yeah, having it in a smoothie, having spoons of it in a smoothie every day is very healthy. Definitely good for you. You know what I mean? But I'm very careful when it comes to my community. We've got to be very cautious on how we, dispense information, because some people could react to it. Depending on the condition, it can make it worse. So just be very mindful from all of us and due diligence. The more diligent people are, the more better I trust them. But I can't sit and say Irish moss for everybody and it's great. No, it's not. So just be mindful on that side. But I think overall, sea moss is great. Like overall, it really does have so much nutrients in it. Very, very good for you, for joints wise, for iodine wise. But we know it's rich in iodine. So that's why I'm like, if people have thyroid issues, be careful. If you have pre-existing conditions, definitely consult, because nature can heal you, but it can also kill you if you don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah. Right.
Someone wants to know one more question, because I want to bring on some people on the platform who've.
All right. One more question. Okay, as we started with Irish moss, let's end with that one then. So someone wants to know, how much should we take daily?
It varies. So it's still tied to my first question, my first answer. It varies. I'll start off by taking maybe create the gel, put 2 tablespoons, see how you feel, see how you get on and stuff like that. And normally when I do, I take 2 tablespoons of it. There is no recommended dosage per se across the board. There isn't. So which makes it quite difficult. But because we know that it's a very useful thing, I would say start by just 2 tablespoons, see how you feel. Some people say they feel nauseated. So just start off small and go big rather than go big and start to reduce. So just start off small, but you can take CMOS daily. It's very healthy. You can do that.
Okay. Thank you, my darling.
Thank you for your answers, for your time, and for your passion. Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very, very much for that. I love the Q&A. I love the questions. Now, this is an opportunity for, still got nearly 100 people on the platform. And so this is an opportunity to ask any questions. All that we ask, as I was saying in the beginning, if you could please put your hand up and put your camera on and just say where you're zooming in from. We don't like talking to a black screen. So if anybody wants to ask a question, That'll be fantastic. So we've got Hebrew Queen. Good morning, greetings, Queen. What's the question that you'd like to ask? Let's unmute you. Ask to unmute. So Hebrew Queen, would you like to come on and?
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, bless you. Thank
Welcome
you.
to the platform.
Oh, thank you. I've been on before. It's been an amazing presentation. Absolutely amazing. King Joe Dash, you're just amazing presentation. I want to definitely, I have linked on and signed up for the 30-day challenge. One of the things you were saying with intermittent fasting, you do have a weight loss. Now, I did put something in the chat that I am over 60, but my weight is about 9 stone 2 plus. And I am conscious about if I lose weight very easy, I've got a high metabolism. But I just want to be conscious that I don't end up losing too much weight. So for me, with doing the intermittent fasting, how can I then try regulate and keep my weight to without me losing too much weight, and just sort of keep that maintenance sort of balance to what I am? Does that make sense? Is that question?
Oh, you're unmute yourself. Oh, there. Unmute yourself, darling. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So basically, for if you stand up for the one-to-ones.
I've signed up. Well, I've registered to do the intermittent fasting, but I haven't done the one-to-one. But
okay,
would
brilliant.
you suggest that I do that?
Yes, because what happens is when I have anybody that doesn't want to focus on losing weight, I have a bespoke eating plan for you, so you don't lose too much weight and you kind of maintain. So at that point, we have a slightly different alteration of how we do it with people that don't want to lose weight. So that won't be a difficult thing at all. We'll manage that in a very good way.
Yeah, because I mean, I am very much a vegan plant-based diet. I've literally changed my whole diet through the menopause, but I do know I lack a lot of macronutrients such as weight loss, etc. And I can see it very much in my nails. So I really want to do the intermittent fasting because I think, clean up the gut, etc. But I do, there are areas that I feel my nutrient level is not at its peak. So I will sort of look at registering on doing the one-to-one. And I'm also very much interested in being a coach because I work with people in, I should also state that I'm from the UK. I'm in the Midlands of Nottingham, a place called Nottingham. And I work very much with people who have got health issues such as addiction. And so I am an NLP coach as well. So I'm very much interested in adding on skills to the things that I'm already doing and to pass it on to our clients who are going through addiction. And some of them is about changing their diets and their mindset as well. So I'll be very interested if you do have enough people signing up for your annual coaching session.
No, absolutely. Like I said, anyone that's a trainer or your midwife or your nutritionist or fitness instructor or you're into fitness and that's what you do for a living, let Joan know if you guys are interested. We can do a 2-3 day web series and it will be so powerful because then I can focus on the Black biology and the science of how we respond to health and fitness. So if that's a big thing that people know other people or that's what they want to do, let Joan know and then we'll collaborate and get it done for you guys. But because the curriculum is there, I've got a series version of it and I've also got a 4-month version of it and I've got a month version of it. So there's different things we can do. But yeah, if we could get at least 10 or more people involved, then it can make a lot of sense. And then we can definitely empower the next people in front doing important jobs such as yourself to get them to understand specifically when it comes to people of color or just people of addiction or what happens to how people can transition psychologically away from the poisoning and away from the unsavory lifestyle. So yeah, I love doing those trainers things. So yeah, just let Joe know I'm here for it.
And this
Thank
this is how
Thank you for your questions.
and this is how exactly. Thank you very much for that, Hebrew Queen. This is how we build a tribe. You know, this is how we build a village. You know, we train others. This is how we're going to get the message out. You know, right now it's like myself, Rudy, and you, King Joe. You know, we're pushing, and I think we've touched about 100 lives already with the three like programs that we've been involved in. And this is what we want to do. You know, we just want to get it out into our. We don't want to hear about. I don't want to hear no one ringing me. Joan, I've got blood pressure.
Yeah,
Joan, I've got diabetes. I was out on Sunday and I met a couple of people. You know, oh, they've got this, they've got that, and my heart sinks. You know, I don't want to hear nobody telling me they got blood pressure, diabetes, and all the other illnesses. You know, and if they've got it, let's try and reverse it, because we can reverse some things.
Yeah, you can. Definitely can. The regular stuff we can.
So I can take a couple more questions. If anybody wants to put their hand up in the chat, and Joe is here, so you can ask your questions directly to him. We're going to be starting on the 1st of September. Kings, and we want the kings to come as well.
Yeah.
You know, like I said before, we want them to be living healthy, strong, powerful lives with us queens. It can't just be us all the time walking, you know. We want the men involved in this. We really do want the men. And I mean, on a couple of the last challenge we've had, I think we had 2 or 3 on the last challenge, can't remember. But they're coming slowly, but you know, we really do. You know, so those of you, you've got your husbands, your partners, or you've got a good friend, try and get them to come on the challenge. You know, we want people to be healthy. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not about, you know, anything else. We want people to be healthy. And hence why we do the walking groups. So even though, you know, a lot of you will see me Zoom about all different subjects, my passion is for the walking group. I mean, we're back out walking 4th of September, my group in South East London. So you won't see them on a Saturday morning soon at all. We're actually going to be looking to Zoom on a Sunday. So we're putting plans in place to be Zooming on a Sunday on loads of different topics. I've got a whole list of different topics people want to discuss and want more information on. So yes, we'll be moving to Sunday Zoomings, early morning Sunday Zooming, I think. But we can take 1 or 2 more questions. If anybody has anything they would like to ask. Has anything else popped up in the chat, Montrese, my darling? Are you there? Yes, let me ask.
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah.
Someone says, can you put the group contact info for the walking group information in the chat?
Right, okay. Yeah, that's being
Will
posted.
the elderly be good to join? Sharon and Milk, I don't know what that means.
So just repeat that question for us, please, Montrese.
Sharon Mac would like to know, will it be good for the elderly to join? Sharon. Okay, she wants to know, is it good for the elderly to join the 30-day challenge?
Oh, the 30-day challenge. Elderly, what age are we talking about? Depends.
Sharon. I don't know. We'll come back to her, shall we?
Well, intermittent fasting, it depends. If you're elderly with certain types of conditions, it depends what type of condition. Not everybody past a certain point, but at least all the way into your 70s, you're fine. You're definitely fine. It gets complicated when we get into the 80s side of things. The body's different. But I think anything up to, in the 70s is pretty much clear cut. But when you get into the 80s, the body gets slightly complicated. So it depends. And it depends on if they got health issues or so forth. But if you're saying elderly post-70, in the 70s, yeah, definitely it's fine.
Right, Sharon, I've just seen a message from you that you can't unmute. If you put your hand up in the chat, then I can see there's like nearly 100 people here, so I can't see you on the dashboard. So if you put your hand up, and then I will try and unmute you. Okay.
There you go. While she's putting her hand up, someone wants to ask about kids.
No, in the chat, so I can see you. If you put your hand up in the chat.
You can just switch your camera on and off. We can't see you. Is it Sharon? Sharon, I can't see you I can't see it.
Yeah. You can, if you can unmute yourself, then yeah.
Oh, there she is.
Right, you're there. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, you've unmuted now. Okay, go ahead and ask your question, Sharon. Right. I've unmuted you now, Sharon. Hello, my darling. Good morning.
Hi. Thank you. Sorry, I can't turn my camera on. I'm just not in a decent state right now. So, Joe, fascinating talk. Thank you so much. It's been really, really interesting because I already intermittent fast, but I've never had the information from a melanin perspective. So this will really bring about a lot of changes for me. But in terms of the elderly, so my father and stepmom, they're in their mid-70s. So my stepmom, she keeps herself quite fit. My father does have several health issues, but I think most of them are quite borderline. And I think we gave him the program from a melanin perspective. He would be more interested and perhaps more likely to follow it because it's from a melanin perspective, if you understand what I mean.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that might, and there being a group, but if there are no other elderly ones, I don't know. Anyway, don't worry about that. I will talk to him.
Now, if he's in his 70s, he's fine. Absolutely fine. Absolutely. And we want the elder men to definitely partake. You know what I mean? And really do that, because obviously our bodies are different between men and women, but women take more care of these things than men do, and it's the women control the nutritional content in the house. They control the influence of how people are going to be healthy. So if he doesn't join, if someone in the family joins, then they will have the information to say, okay, cool, this is how to cook for dad. This is how we prepare his meals. This is what we do for him. Sometimes that's what it is. Like, I've lost count how many times my wife has tricked me into doing something great. So I at some point, I think most men just kind of submit and be like, okay, you know what, it's in our best interest. But it'll be great for him to kind of get the information. And I'm sure he will love learning about himself as a Black man. That's something that we all missed, even growing up in university. I was like, all this talk, not one mention of melanin. I'm in the wrong place.
Yeah, you're so right. The other question is, during the challenge, because I joined the call late, unfortunately.
That's
Do you know, is there any exercise involved with it? Do you
okay, no, we definitely send like, what's it called, health tips and health hacks and stuff like that within the group. But I myself don't focus on physical activity. I focus on food, and food's being 80% of the actual issue, and then the other 20 is really exercise. But we do speak on exercise, and if I'm doing one-to-one and I know what conditions he has, I can recommend exercises specifically for that condition, if it's mobility wise or if it's just any issue that you might have, you know what I mean? So we do that, but our main focus is more about how we structure our food and how to eat to live. So that's mainly, in all honesty, what we hyper focus on. But we do, if it's about just pointing people in towards fitness, then that's fine. But in terms of running a fitness part in it, no, we don't really, except for the Queen's Walk group. Definitely the walking group is still happening.
Yeah, I'm a member of that.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. But if people, I would do touch on fitness and how working out affects, because too much working out affects women negatively. Excessive workout affects women negatively. It drives up your testosterone, and it's a problem. And then it will disrupt you completely. It will disrupt mood and different things of that nature, especially when it comes to Black women. There's a lot more difference in your body's far more complex than anything we've seen in biology. And and the Black woman's body is something we'll keep discovering new stuff. That's how much it is. We have to keep revising our notes and go back to the drawing board and say, okay, well, this new case, and I didn't know Black women could do this. You know what I mean? Remember, it's from a Black woman we learned stem cells.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So my whole research and the way I approach it is just trying to understand that, hey, you're going to struggle to lose weight more than everybody else. And, don't look outside when you're on that health journey. Focus on the day-to-day steps, because your body's going to move completely different than your European counterparts naturally anyway. So sometimes it can feel as a woman, if you're pushing on the treadmill and you feel like, wait, not much is happening, but I'm going to teach my people how to do it healthily and in a way that makes you feel great. So that's the important thing. And for the Black men as well that do join the program, we're going to basically understand hormones, and I might have my herbalist coming to talk about some herbs and so forth that people can use and what to do.
That's amazing. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you, Sharon.
I just wanted to quickly jump in and say, you know, being on the program, it was just such a phenomenal experience, and you're well looked after, you know. So I'm just looking through I just found my pack, and, you know, the guide, because you get the guide as well when you're on the program, so detailed. So there's so much information in the guide to keep you on track. Yeah, your eating window is in there, what foods you should be eating, what you shouldn't be eating, staying hydrated, advice about exercise, you know, recipes, a few little recipe ideas, how to make smoothies. It's all in the pack. And what I loved about the program as well, it was the one-to-ones. When you get into a one-to-one session, and I've had people call me, you know, they've had a one-to-one with Joe, and it's so deep because it's about food, but it's a whole lot more. It's about the reasons why. And somehow, King Joe, you tap into some of these women's psyche. You know, there are things that have happened from when they were children, why they're eating the way they're eating, or living a particular lifestyle. I've had women call me that, you know, they've been crying, you know, because they've been carrying all this stuff for years and years. And the food has been like the comforter. And in a way, that is what's been destroying their lives. So they're battling with things that have happened in the past, and they're battling with the food as well now. So it's, you know, and it's like Joe said, it, you know, it's very complex. So when you go into a session with Joe, and I think it's normally, is it an hour we used to meet? Was it an hour we used to talk for?
No, Zoom. We zoomed for an hour, but the one-to-ones is 30 minutes. 30
minutes, yeah. But that 30 minutes, that in itself is powerful. That in itself is powerful. And what I also liked with that 30 minutes now, you know, every week, like you might be eating this week, and by the time you've had a conversation with Joe, oh no, he's switching you up to something else. Yeah, I remember when I had my sessions, I was, you know, having my meals, etc. Then, you know, because most people know that I've got blood pressure. I had blood pressure, and I'm no longer on my medication. I came from medication in May.
Oh, dear.
And the doctor is still, he just keeps saying to Joan, just keep doing what you're doing. He said the only condition was I had to make sure I buy a blood pressure machine and I check it. And the actual, all these years of taking these tablets, so annoying, because the blood pressure is better now without the medication. And also, I'm sure the way that I'm eating now, and I'm getting the sleep and the diet, etc., all those adjustments have made a significant difference. So I just love the one-to-one sessions. I really enjoyed them. It was educational. It was really educational, and it got me really to think about. And it's about the relationship that we have with food, yeah, and it's about how we live our lifestyles.
Absolutely.
So, any more questions? So, I mean, it's not really about us selling a package. We just want people to be healthy. So, you know, I do what I do. I walk. You know, I often say we could have been out there doing HIIT training, but I'm sure we wouldn't have all these hundreds of ladies, you know, part of the program. We walk and we talk and we have fun. So, and all that is part of exercise. So it's once you get the exercise that you can manage in a good place, and you get the eating in the right place, and bring it all together, you're on the right road to better health. So let me see if there's any more questions before we wrap this session up. And then I'm going to get you to do a quick recap, Joe, about, you know, what we've spoken about, because there are lots of people who come on late. And then we'll wrap the session up, and if there's any more questions. So over to you, King Joe, if you just do a quick recap, and then what the package involves, costs, etc. And we'll go from there.
Yeah, so we had a great session for anyone that came late. We discussed about food, what food is, why people are not healthy, what some of the reasons that make being healthy challenging for them in their life, and also breaking down what a nutrient is. Remember, your micronutrients are the smaller stuff like your zinc, your iodine, selenium, that are important for the body, but if you don't have them, can cause fatigue, headaches, lightheadedness, poor mood, depression, all these kind of things. And your macronutrients being your fats, your carbohydrates, your proteins, that you need them for for access to energy. And also understanding how to set your plate up in a balanced diet way. Remember, half your plate needs to be veg, needs to be greens, leafy greens, and so forth. And a third of your plate needs to be your carb source, which is normally your whole grains or something in that kind of vein, versus the white carbs. The white starchy food is horrible for us and our biology. We need to drink a lot of water, at least 2 liters of it. We need to be able to get well rested. It is the stressful environment of the West that's putting pressure and leaning on everyone. And because it's doing that, it's modulating our food selection. So on our program, we look at the environmental factors, cultural factors, personal beliefs. We look at trauma. We look at emotional connection to food and how deep that goes, how to actually get people away from addictive foods. And we really package that in a way, in a supportive kind of group way where we're all in it together and we push forward, trying to just change your mindset around food. And once we do that, you'll make the selection yourself in a much more better way. So that has been our conversation today. You can email me, my details are there. You can email me. If you have more questions, you can DM me. Follow me at Joe without an E if you want to learn more about what I'm just doing. And register to this 30-day challenge if you want to join us in September. Let's go for it. I'm limiting spaces because, I have to balance out life, as you know. So please get to it as soon as possible. So it's not, if you're last minute, I can't guarantee there'll be a space left. So please do your best from the end of the month, from now to the end of the month, to make sure that you book a space, okay? But my email is there. Thank you, Montrese, for putting my details there. So if you want to go check out my website, you want to check out the YouTube, you want to check out the work I'm doing, please feel free. And like I said, for people that want to become trainers or do what I do for a living and want to know more about a course or a 6-day series, let Joan know, and then we'll put something together, okay? But if you go on the website, all the information is there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Someone's come into the chat and asked about the cost.
So there's different, brilliant. So there's different costs. If you're a bit more advanced in health and fitness and you kind of been intermittent fasting and you just want to get a bit more information, you have the deluxe available for you. If you're not more advanced in health and fitness and you're not in that world, then get the VIP package that is £150. The basic deluxe package is £100. Okay, but don't do that unless you are really proficient in the space of health and fitness and you know what you're doing. But if you want to just explore, deep dive into your own mechanism with food and get that support week in, week out, then get the VIP, which is £150. So we have a limited spaces for the VIP. Deluxe, we can take as much people as possible, but with VIP is limited. There's not many spaces for that. So please make sure that you get onto it as soon as possible.
Okay, that's fantastic. Right, Montrese, you want to ask something, my darling? If anybody wants to ask any more questions, now is a good opportunity because we are starting the Intermittent Fasting Challenge on the 1st of September. So there's no point contacting me on the 1st or the 2nd of September because there's a bit of work that goes into getting the group set up, getting the paperwork all sorted out and people doing their shopping. So you need to be prepared and in the right mindset to start on the 1st of September. So that's why we've started this sort of like 2-week lead into it so people can think about it. I think the code you've got, is it only till midnight tonight, Joe?
Yeah, it's to midnight tonight. But we got limited spaces for the VIP one. So it's really much as soon as it's a first come first serve situation. So it is a few people, maybe 20 people will take on a VIP bit, not more than that. So, and the numbers are quite big. So please just get to that as soon as possible.
Yeah. And it has to be that because, it's the one-to-one. So it's a one-to-one every week, and, we Zoom on a Sunday evening, like the whole group. So it's important that, if you're gonna make up your mind and do it, just jump on quick because there's only a few spaces. So,
Someone said about for blood type.
Uh-huh.
For diet for blood type, dieting for blood type is not efficient. It's not effective. The studies have come back and realized actually it's not exclusive, meaning that type A, B should only eat specific types of food, but has the same effect if someone that was type O has anyway. So it's not an effective way from my perspective, professionally, to go about weight loss or body change or improvement, because body type and hormones control how your body functions. So I focus on feeding for hormones, because the hormones will decide at the end of the day. So if you're a type A, B, or O, or whatever, doesn't matter what blood type you are, you have too much insulin in your blood, you're going to add on weight. Simple. So blood type has nothing to do with it. So I've always debated that at certain points with people, with other nutritionists, and said it doesn't make sense, because if you're going to say type A and B, all the results will show you that actually it had the same results in other people. So, and because our blood is a mixture of things, I don't really go on that. It's not a good marker. What it does do is provide the genetic markers, right? So you could create genetic markers that you pass on down the line to the next generation. If you're type A, B, you pass on certain things that are more susceptible. But as far as weight loss is concerned, as far as reversing disease is concerned, as far as all of that stuff is concerned, it is a hormonal conversation. Body change is exclusively hormones. And no matter what type you are, if you have too much insulin, you will add on weight. Blood type has nothing to do with it. Your body type and body shape of how you lose fat is far more important than blood type. So that's my professional take on that.
Okay. Is there a code? Someone's asked if there's a code.
So we'll send to book. No, there's no code at this moment. So there's no code. So you can book now. If there's any code that needs to come out, John will push it out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can just
my question.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, was about Joe. I just wanted to make sure your email address, at the end of it, there are a couple of S's. Are there supposed to be 3?
No. Class is just 1 S. 2 S's, sorry. Might be writing it fast. Was
okay,
it me?
I'll change it.
Probably just me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. That's me. That's you putting it now. It's just 1 S. It's 2 S's, sorry, class. originalhealthclass@gmail.com. So anyone wants to email me, shoot me an email.
Right, what I want to do, I've got a couple of people on here. Sandra Alexis, you've been on the intermittent fasting challenge. Would you like to come in and tell us a little bit about it and how you found the whole experience? Leon Henry. Oh, fantastic. I think you were on the first one that we did.
Hello.
Hi, Sandra.
Get the camera right. Good morning, everybody. Yes.
Good morning, my darling.
I've been on the intermittent fasting a month, 2 months ago, and I'm coming back to the fasting again, to the group, because partially, I'm going to be honest, I lost my way. Things happen in life, all the excuses, tick, tick, tick. It's just, it hasn't come out to, I haven't done that fantastic. I was conscientious at first and everything else, but the old habits snuck in. And so I'm interested in rejoining and just getting that mindful support and just brushing over a few pointers that I've lost my way about. So it does work, but it's, you have to put your mind to it, and you have to change that cupboard. Definitely the food closets you just have to get rid of those little stashes that are around, possibly, and also re-educate your family as well. And if it has to be sneaky re-education, because sometimes these young people, they're not really forthwith. They don't really want to know. They still want to do the Uber Eat and all the rest of it. So I'm interested again to reiterate and talk about my health and well-being again with Joe Dash. Yeah.
And what I love about you coming on the platform, Barbara, is that you've just been honest. You came when you were honest, and yet you lost your way. We a lot of us have lost our way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at least right, okay, you're not going to beat yourself up about it.
No.
You can get back on the train, wagon, bus, car, whatever.
Definitely.
Just get back on track, Queen. Just get back on track.
Mm.
So I commend you for coming on and being so honest.
Thank you.
And coming back into the family, because I will be
Yeah.
there. I've got to get rid of quite a few bits and pieces. All them biscuits in the drawer for the grandchildren, that's got to go. Those have to move out. Those have to go. So thank you very much for that. We really, really
Thank you.
appreciate your honesty, my darling.
Okay, thank you.
Leon, are you there? Are you there? Are you there? And if you're able to come on, I did see, is Jenny still there? Jenny still there? If anybody wants to come on and share their experience of being on the intermittent fasting challenge with Joe, please do. Pauline. Pauline Salisman. I'm sure you were on I think you were on the
Yes.
first challenge. So Pauline, do you want to come on, darling? And tell us about your experience of being on the intermittent fasting challenge.
Good morning.
Hey, hey, hey.
Good
How are you,
morning.
Queen?
I'm all right, thank you. Not bad at all.
Good, good.
Um,
Was it the first challenge you were on?
I was on the
Yeah.
very first challenge. Yes, I was. And I didn't actually do it necessarily to lose weight. I did it to discipline myself and my eating habits. So I like a drink. I'm not an alcoholic. Let me put that first. But I do like to have alcohol, normally probably once a glass every night, say, when I come home from work, just to de-stress. So that was one of my weaknesses. And then also snacking.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big person. I'm an 8, sometimes a size 6. So I'm a small diddy person.
Yeah.
But all of those things really do add up. And you see a little waistline occurring. You see the little cellulite here and there. You see changes in your skin. So I knew things were happening. So I had to do something quick. So when it came up, I thought to myself, you know what, let's get on this. And there were so many motivational people on the group. There was one particular lady, Virtuous, she might be on here. She used to get up in the morning, every morning, and do a whatever walk, 5K walk, whatever she was doing before she went to work.
Yeah.
She was so motivational for us. And then people putting up their recipes and Joe and his one-to-ones, and so powerful. And you just felt like you were in part of a family. So even though I haven't been back on the last one, or probably not going to do this one, you have definitely taught me some lessons and mind change, and I will definitely keep up with it. So, you know, I know what to do now in a funny kind of way, but if I ever did need help again, I'll definitely come back to Jojo. You are amazing. You are fantastic, fantastic teacher and mentor. So I would definitely approve, and whoever needs that kind of help, just to discipline yourself and change that mindset, get on board.
Yeah, true. Thank you very much for that, Pauline. And it's you know, I can sit here and talk about it, and you know, but it's individuals like yourself who've actually been on the program. That's what makes it real. And you're so right. You know, the sharing of recipes, the jokes, you know, and just supermarket shopping now. I've discovered so much things. You know, I'm eating black rice, wild rice, red rice is my favorite now. Red rice. So there's so much other alternatives, so much switch ups that we can all do just to get back on the right road. My darling Josie, hi. Where are you, Josie? I know you've got I know you're there. Oops, let me unmute you. Can I unmute you? Can you unmute Josie? Queen.
Why did I know you were going to say my name?
Can I see you? Are you decent?
No, I actually came on late, so I'm not sort of like prepared to be seen. So unfortunately, but yeah, I've been on the challenge myself, and Joe was a godsend. He actually pinpointed things that I could focus on and work on. I've fallen off the wagon myself, so yeah, as you say, brutally honest. So I'm going to go back through my folder and just go back because it works. It does work. My skin got better. I did lose the weight, and it sort of like uplifts you. I don't know. You start to know yourself. Does that make sense? You start to get to know what's right in your body, what's not right. And yeah, that's all I can say is just keep going, Joe. Keep going.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We love our community, and like, you know, I can't sort of like reiterate enough. We just want everyone to be healthy. We don't want to hear nobody telling us that they got diabetes or they're borderline diabetic. We don't want to hear no one telling they've got blood pressure. You know, we just want everyone to be well, and to take the messages and take what they learn from us out into our community as well. You know, so ingrain those good shopping habits in our children, you know, whispering to our friends, share what we've learned with our community. So let me just see if there's anybody else here who I recognize who's been on the challenge before we kind of like wrap up. Good morning, Harold. Mr. Harold, he's another health person doing vegan bites. Eden Rose. Anybody else want to come on? Anybody else want to ask a question before I wrap up this session? Pauline Murray. Welcome. So you should be able to unmute yourself now, my darling. Have you unmuted? Because you had your hand up. Pauline Murray, did you still want to ask a question? We can't hear you very well. Are you there?
What's going on? Can you hear me now?
Oh, we can hear you now. Yes. Hello, good morning, my darling. Greetings.
Greetings to you all. Yes, I was on the first challenge in February, which was absolutely brilliant. I think I came on it more so for health reasons, really, which has kind of gone a bit like that. I have kind of kept up with doing the fasting here and there, I have to admit, but I have gone off the wagon like everyone else. And but it has made a change to my life and my thought process. So I thank Joe for that. And thank you, Joan, as well, because it's very inspiring listening to your sessions or whatever. So blessings to that. Absolutely brilliant, Joe. The one-to-ones were good. The jokes on the WhatsApps were good. I can't remember the lady now, but she was just cracking jokes for us. That was kind of inspiring. But yeah, it was a brilliant challenge and I recommend it to anybody. I think it's something that, you know, when we can understand ourselves, we can understand our melanin skin, and that's what it's about. It's about understanding self. And I think that listening to your Zooms and especially going on this challenge has made me be inspired about understanding me and who I am. The more I can understand me, the better I can do for myself. Absolutely. So I am contemplating coming back on the challenge in September. There's a big contemplation going on. Because I think sometimes you do need to do something again. Sometimes you do need to redress. You may not need to redress every area of what what we did on the challenge, but just those areas where you kind of come to points of weakness or need more understanding. So I recommend it to anybody. You know, come on board. You won't regret it at all.
No. And it works. You know,
absolutely.
And it's really, you know, like I say, you know, we have to not be scared to invest in ourselves. You know, we'll go and spend however much, we'll pay the gas, the electric, we'll do the council tax and all the other stuff. You know, sort the car out, spend hundreds doing the car. But when it comes to about self, you know, we really have to try and put ourselves first and invest in ourselves. I mean,
absolutely.
You know, I took off yesterday morning and I went and I had a wonderful Reiki session. Or Reiki as they call it, you know, and I felt wonderful. So I invested that time in myself to just go and have that therapy session about me, you know, and a lot of us now who are up in age, we really got to It's got to be about me. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
not about being selfish. It's not about
Absolutely.
being selfish. It's about, you know, all the years you're doing this, we're like serving others. You need to serve yourself and look after yourself.
Absolutely.
You know? And I have a say, you know, if this drop, everything flop. I tell my kids that all the time. They just think, oh, mum, what you're talking about. But this is it. You know, once you stop, everything just stops, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And we can't rely on anybody else to do it for us. We've got to do it for ourselves, because, you know, we could be waiting a lifetime if we're relying on anybody else. It's like, if you don't love you, who's going to love you?
Exactly.
You have to love you. It has to start with you and it ends with you, you know, and I'm neither more than or less than anybody else.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I see it. You know, we're in it together.
Well, this is it. And when you're in the group, it really is. But we're like a little family, aren't we?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and it's not about, you know, this one's better than that one. Everybody contributes. So I might be out doing my early morning walk and I'll take a quick little video, you know, and we try and motivate each other, and that's what it's about. You know, you've got those who create these dishes, they take pictures of their lunches and their dinners, and you think, my God, this is Michelin star rating stuff going on here. You know, so it's really just good fun, but we're all focused. It's all about us getting through the 30 days and beyond. Yeah. And to be in a healthier place.
Absolutely. Can you just set up a group in Northwest London? That would be great.
We'll talk. Contact
me. I need motivation. I need motivating.
Contact me, and we'll put something together when we've got 20 walking groups, so one was not going to make any difference.
Fantastic. I hope to see you tomorrow anyway. I'm going to make the effort to make it tomorrow. So
fantastic. Wonderful. Good.
All right, thanks again, Jo.
Darling. Oh, you're welcome. God bless you. Right, YDM, you've got your hand up, my darling. What would you like to ask us? I'm going to ask to unmute you.
Oh, good morning. Good morning, Jo.
Good morning.
Been a while since I've been on one of these platforms. So great to be listening in. I came in late. I do know somebody that has been on this, and I've spoken to them about this program about 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
So I'm aware of it, and they just waved the beacon of wonder and amazement about it.
Yeah.
So based on what I was told, one of the things is that the reading, that there's quite a lot of reading I want to know about, and also, has anybody who's had menopausal issues noticed that those issues have got better since being on this program? And just thirdly, when can I review this this recording? So sorry, 3 quick questions.
Right, well, let me address your last question first. So this session has been live streamed through to YouTube. So if you go onto the Queen's 2020 lockdown series, it's there now, and it will be there for posterity. It's also been live streamed through to Facebook. So it's Facebook page, We Love Health and Wellbeing. So it's there now till posterity. Yeah?
Lovely, thank you.
That's the first thing. In regards to menopause, I can actually put you in touch. If you contact me directly, I can put you in touch with one of the queens who's been on it. And she had hot flushes for years. There was almost like there was mud in her, the hot flushes. And she went on the program and her hot flushes disappeared. But what I want you to do, contact me, and you can speak to her and she can tell you about her experience. Because that was and I don't think she really was expecting that effect to come about as part of being on this intermittent fasting challenge. But that was one of the things that really it disappeared. It disappeared.
Okay,
so yeah, contact me directly and I'll put you in touch with Sonia. She's the lead queen for East London.
Okay, and the reading, there's a lot of reading, isn't there?
It's not a lot of reading. I mean, the guide, I think it's about 20 pages, but there's loads of pictures.
Oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's just, I still like paper, so I still like to print things out. But I think it's only about 20 pages, and it's got loads of pictures. It's just more like a guide, really.
Oh, lovely.
If you talk about lots of reading, I mean, the book. So I think if you do the VIP session where you get the one-to-ones, you also get the book. So, and the book is not that thick, and you read it at your leisure. Yeah, and it's
Super. Thank you so much.
the Melanin Effect book, so which is excellent. I need to read it again. So yes, it's not a whole lot of reading. I understand what you mean. Yeah, but it's not a lot of reading. No.
Lovely. Thanks so much.
You're welcome, my darling. Right, Col, you've come up as Col on my board. Have you got a question, Col? Don't know where you've gone to. Okay, Pauline Murray, you've got your hand up again, my darling. You got a question? No, Sandra.
Hi.
Hi.
Joan, you know your booklet. Did you download that yourself?
Yes, yeah. So when you sign up, you get sent the 30-day transformation challenge guide.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's easy for me to just kind of like flick through. Even though it just keeps me on track. You know, it keeps me on track. And especially and what's really good about it, when you sign up and you've got to actually go out and do the shopping, you've got a clear guide as to what you should be avoiding. And it's so important to, you know, read labels. I'm telling you, this rapeseed oil is in everything, almost everything. So you have to be really careful when you're doing your shopping. So Pauline, my darling, you've got your hand up. Shall I'll unmute you. Right, you should be able to unmute yourself now.
Okay.
That's it, you're back.
Okay, I just wanted to make a comment regarding YDM in the menopause. For me, yes, I have seen major improvements, and I was taking the wrong dose of, it's gone from me now, oh, brain like a sieve. It'll come back to me in a minute. Anyway, when you have your one-to-ones with Joe, he can recommend what supplements that you can take, and what he's recommended for me has made a major difference in my moods, major difference in the amount of hot flushes I do get, and especially night sweats. So yes, there definitely is an improvement, and definitely with the diet as well. Just wanted to make that comment.
No, that's fantastic, because and this is what it's about. You know, we can sit and say, well, it's this, it's that, but it's about, you know, individuals like yourself who've actually been through the program, who's experienced it, you know, and it's about keeping it real, keeping it so real. And you know, you've been wonderful. I didn't even remember, I didn't even think of you, but I know like one lady, because you know, she was just so blown away by the effect, because of course, when you're kind of like having the flushes and the night sweats and things, it can be so debilitating.
Absolutely.
And frustrating. So, and when that changed, and that was so significant for her, it's like she's flying now. You know, she's like a different person, just so happy because she hasn't got to contend with that, what was happening to her body, which she has no control over. So thank you so much for sharing that, Pauline. Really, really appreciated. Thank you. Right. Anybody else? Right, nobody else. No more questions, Montrese. I don't know if Joe is still. Joe, are you still there? I'm going to wrap up. So I just want to know. Excellent. My host with the most. Right, folks, thank you all so much for being on the platform this morning. We've had a wonderful session. Queens, kings and queens, let's get sexy and drop it like it's hot. And once you come out of, you know, once you participate in the 30-day intermittent fasting challenge, which starts on the 1st of September, you'll be on the road. And remember, Christmas is just around the corner. Yeah. So if you want to make that transformational change, if you want to face up and stop hiding from, you know, you've had this ache, you're trying to live with this ache, or trying to live with this pain, or trying to live with the inflammation, you're trying to live with indigestion. No, living with it no more. No, living with it no more. Make up your mind, yeah, and say, right, face it. I'm going to make that change in my life. Yeah. We're not asking you to come and do loads of exercise. Do what you can. You're beyond the program. If it means you're going to walk for half an hour each day, half an hour is good. If you decide you're going to download some apps to do exercise, do that. That's good. There is no judgment here. Do what you can. Make up your mind, sign up, come into the community, come into that 30-day intermittent fasting challenge in September. We're starting on the 1st of September. Sign up today, yeah, so we can get everything sorted out in time and get the WhatsApp group set up, you know, get you all into the right, you know, place, mindset to begin. You are in for a transformational journey and you will get results. If you follow what Joe tells you, you will get results. Yeah. If you're kind of dipping in and out, you're going to do a bit, it's not going to work. Yeah. It's not going to work. Take the 30 days, 1st of September, to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself and say, right, I'm going to change my life. I don't want to have all these aches and pains. Yeah. Oh my God, my doctor says I'm borderline diabetic. Yeah. You can do something to change the narrative, and that's what it's about. Changing the narrative. Take control of your life. Yeah. We've got a fantastic NHS and we love our doctors, but we as melanin-rich people, Joe, he is the king and he knows his stuff and he will get you on the right path to good health. But you have got to want it as well. We want it for you. We want it for our whole community. We want everyone to be healthy. But you as individuals this morning on the platform, we want you to just make up your mind and say, right, I'm going to get on board with this. Yeah, I'm going to sign up. I'm going to do whatever. And we are here. You know, my number's in the chat. Ring me. You've got any questions? Ring me. Always happy to talk to my people. Yeah, ring me. You can ask me anything. And if I don't know, I'll find out from Joe. Yeah. So this morning, thank you all so much for coming onto the Kings and Queens. Let's get sexy and drop it like it's hot. 30-day intermittent fasting challenge introduction. Yeah. So we've told you all about it. So you've got a good idea of what's involved. Hopefully you've taken loads and loads of notes. I'm sure a lot of my walking groups have been able to jump on the platform, big up the walking groups all over the UK. Thank you guys. You have been on, a lot of you have been on the challenge and you've continued. Some of you have dropped off, but hey ho, you can come back on, come back into the family. We'd love to have you all. Remember, it's limited spaces for the VIP because it's a lot more work for Joe in that, you know, setting up all the one-to-one. Remember, he meets with you every week. And plus, you know, we have the half an hour session on a Sunday evening and all the other bits and pieces that go into the program. So thank you all, thank you all, thank you all. We've had a fantastic Q&A. I just want to quickly tell you about the Summer Cultural Market that's happening on Bank Holiday Sunday, which will be in the Mansion House, Beckenham Place Park, Beckenham, BR3 1SY. And there we've got, I think, nearly 30 vendors from the community showcasing their wares. So we had one on the 3rd of July, we had one on the 7th of August, and this is our 3rd cultural market that's taking place on Bank Holiday Sunday in the Mansion, because you know we do things in style. Yes, in the Mansion House in Beckenham. Absolutely phenomenal. Can't wait. I just love seeing our businesses from the community showcasing their wares. So we're looking for all of you to please come out and support. Yeah, remember, they haven't been able to trade properly for nearly the last 2 years. So we really appreciate you every time you come out, and, you know, you come from all over the UK to, you know, to look at, to support the vendors at the past couple of markets that have been held. And again, we're calling on your continued support and we appreciate you. We really do. And the vendors, they really appreciate you coming out and supporting them. So again, Bank Holiday Sunday in the Mansion House in Beckenham, Place Park, Beckenham, BR31SY. We've also got African Fashion Week coming up in October, Black History Month. It should be on the 8th and 9th of October. Again, it's going to be another fantastic event showcasing our vendors in the hair, beauty, fashion industry. There'll be talks, presentations, there'll be an eco room. So again, we'll keep you posted. We're going to do a Zoom session leading up to that. We've got the Queen's 1 year Zoom celebration. We've got the Glitz and Glamour Christmas Ball coming up in December. And that again, there'll be limited tickets because there's not a lot of space in the venue. So keep an eye out for that. Tomorrow, oh gosh, we're so busy. So tomorrow we've got the Errol McKellar Walk and Talk Prostate Cancer Charity Walk, which is taking place in Brixton, Brockwell Park. You've got to be there for 10 o'clock. Come and see me walking and stepping. I'll be there in my shades, as always. So yeah, come and see us. We'll be stepping out from 10 o'clock, should be finished by about 2 o'clock. But come, network, connect, come and meet our people. Queen's 2020 lockdown series. I've had a couple of messages come through that, oh, we've missed the recording or we came late. Don't worry, we've got the Queen's 2020 lockdown series on it's our YouTube channel. So please go onto our YouTube channel. Please like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. We need our followers. This session has also been live streamed through Facebook on We Love Health and Wellbeing page. So again, you know, those who love Facebook, you can watch the recording there. We've also got our Instagram page, which is the Queens and Rudy J Media page. There's loads of stuff up on there. Please, again, like, follow, subscribe, share. I think you can do that on Instagram, I'm not sure. So once again, this morning has been dedicated. It's been all about our health and well-being as melanin people. So come on, you've got to invest in yourselves. You've got to love yourselves. We love you and we want you to love yourselves. Kings and Queens, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you all for being on the platform this morning. And we will see you again soon. Well, we'll actually be on again next week. That's right, because next week we're going to be doing the summer. What are we doing next week? Oh, yes, yeah. Next week we're going to be doing the summer cultural market. And we're going to have the vendors on the platform so you can actually see which vendors are actually going to be at the cultural market on the Bank Holiday Sunday. That's what we're doing next week. So yes, I'll be here again, rocking and looking sweet, ready for all of you to come back. And again, we've got a whole array of businesses in our community who want to showcase their products. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. So guys, thank you all once again for being on the platform. It has been amazing. Thank you to Errol. I know he's off sorting out for the walk tomorrow. King Joe Dash, it has been amazing talking all about our melanin, the 30-day intermittent fasting challenge, which starts on the 1st of September. So come on, peeps, sign up. I want to see as many of you in the group. I will be on it as well. So don't think we're just talking about it and I'm not in it. Yes, I'll be getting rid of all my biscuits and crisps while the grandchildren will come and eat it. Hopefully, or I'll send it down to their house. I'll be getting rid of all those naughty things that I hear because I will be getting ready to start on the Kings and Queens. Let's drop it. Let's get sexy. Let's just get healthy on the 1st of September. Have a wonderful Saturday, everybody. God bless you all. And I hopefully will see you all next week for the Queens and Rudy J Media Summer Cultural Market Vendor Event on Zoom. Take care, everybody. I'm out. Have a lovely Saturday. God bless you all. I'll stop live streaming there. So who's left on the platform now? So we can chat. So I've got 5 minutes if anybody wants to. You've muted me. Do you want to meet everybody, please, Rudy? I forgot. They're my thank you. Well, thank you, Rudy. Thank you, Montrese. Thank you, Leon.
Well done. Well done. Well done.
How are you, Queen Josie? You good?
Yeah, I just spent most of the day at the hospital with my dad yesterday.
Oh, yes. Did it go all right?
No, he's got a blockage in the artery leading to his leg. So he's got to have surgery.
Oh, yes.
Mm.